And welcome back to the 10th annual Perth Fast Pitch Shootout. Terry Shea along with Ray Madden, and this is the championship game between the Ballston Lake, New York Heflin Smokers and the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin. Ray, and this is a rematch of last year's final, won by the Farm Tavern. But we expect a good ball game here between these two clubs, and they're two teams that are very different. A veteran club from the Farm Tavern, a young team in Ballston Lake. And if Ballston Lake has one advantage, maybe a little bit more speed on the bases.
Yeah, Farm Tavern has lots of power at the plate. That'll be their advantage, and good pitching. And as you said, Ballston Lake will have, I think, more speed. They'll probably try and play more hit-and-run game, slash and dash type of game. Get some guys on there, so we'll see what happens here. It should be a great matchup.
Corey Giroux, the starting pitcher for Ballston Lake. The starting pitcher for the Farm Tavern is Paul Algar, and he was the winning pitcher here in the championship final here last year. And this Farm Tavern comes with a whole myriad of good pitchers. They've got some good arms. They've got, aside from Algar, they've also got Jody Henniger, who is a Canadian. He'd be the DH here today, but he's also a fine pitcher. They've also got Todd Martin, who's looked very impressive here early in this tournament. So a lot of pitching for the Farm Tavern.
Two American teams, but there's a lot of Canadians on these teams. Some of the best players and pitchers here are Canadians this weekend, and they're going to be well represented in the final.
Well, we look at these two lineups, and you're looking at a number of players from both the Pan American teams for both Canada and the United States. First of all, from Ballston Lake, Brian Patton along with Todd King are both from the Canadian team, along with Steve Price, are all members of the Canadian national team. Meanwhile, on the Farm Tavern, Brian Marty is a member of the American team, as is Tim Wall. Also from the Canadian team, Colin Abbott is a member of the Farm Tavern, as is Todd Martin and Jody Henniger. So we've got the two Pan American teams from the respective North American countries very well represented here in this final game. And this gives an indication of how strong this tournament has become, Ray, when you've got probably 18 of the best fast pitch players in the world out there right now. And
that's right.
We're going to see a quality game here between Ballston Lake's Smokers. So they've made a change here.
Henniger is going to pitch.
They put Algar. So what they've done here is they've put Algar on the lineup now as the designated player. He's the default. Well, Henniger is now down as the pitcher. So what they've done there is they've just changed the lineups that way that they can keep Algar in the game, I would suspect.
Right.
So he stays in there as the defense-only player. So what they've done is they've entered their lineup and then made a change. So Henniger is going to pitch.
Henniger won this thing last year. He pitched
top pitcher.
2 or 3 games here for the, as well as swung a big bat.
Out on the pitching rubber for Ballston Lake, Corey Giroux, who just pitched the semifinal game not half an hour ago. An exciting 3-2 win over the United States Pan American team. They tied the game up in the bottom of the 7th with a home run, and then won it with 2 runs in the top half of the 8th. 1 run from the American team in the bottom of the 8th, but they couldn't score the equalizer. Meanwhile, in the other game, the Farm Tavern scored an exciting 3-2 extra inning win over Broken Bow, and the tying run scored in the bottom of the 7th with 2 out on a throwing error, Ray. That forced the extra inning, and then the Farm Tavern scoring in the 8th with the international tiebreaker rule. So 4 fairly evenly matched teams making it to the semifinal here. And so here we go with 2 of the 2 top teams here this weekend, the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin, and the Ballston Lake Heflin Smokers wearing the red. The Farm Tavern will be in white with double blue and white trim. And here's the leadoff hitter, Steve King. The center fielder will lead off for the Farm as he faces the right-hander, Corey Giroux, the young Canadian from British Columbia, a member of the Canadian Junior Championship team a few years ago in Victoria. He throws hard, Ray. Of all the guys that are here pitching, as far as velocity is concerned, he's got to be right up there with Martin and some of these other guys as far as the hard stuff is concerned.
That's right, and being a young guy, he's been able to keep it up here all afternoon, so we'll see how long he can go in this game.
They've got some backup pitching too, Ballston Lake. They've got Doug Sleep, and they've got, of course, Mark Price, who pitched an excellent game in the quarterfinal earlier today. So we see whether or not we see Price or Sleep later on. And don't be surprised if they start off with Giroux and maybe make a change later on. It might be a pitching by committee for
That's right.
for them today. So here's Steve King as he steps in and he faces the first pitch of the ball game, and we're underway. And that's ball 1 in the dirt. Steve King, the leadoff hitter, wearing number 7. He's the center fielder. And he's got pretty good speed. Hildebrand will bat second, the second baseman. Here we go. The second pitch. It's strike on the outside corner from Guru, who's been pretty impressive here this weekend. Ray, a guy that had a pretty good reputation as a junior pitcher, but we kind of lost track of him over the course of the last few years.
That's right. He's looks like he's holding his own now in senior ball.
There's the next pitch, and that's lined down the left field line, just foul outside the line.
Jammed him there.
Well, it'll be a real test for young Guru here against this heavy-hitting Farm Tavern team. I guess maybe outside of the United States Pan American team, this is probably the best hitting team in the tournament.
I would think so.
And some of the guys down that lineup, Colin Abbott, Brian Marty, Jody Henniger, these guys all swing the bats. So
this is they're almost a North American all-star team. They've got some of the best players off both the Canadian and American teams.
Ground ball to King, slips to the first. There's the first out of the first inning, and a nice defensive play there by Todd King, the third baseman, as he puts out his opposite number, Steve King. Todd King, an excellent player, a member of the Canadian national team, third baseman.
Shows you the quickness of Todd King there. He can get down and get that ball and back up and throw the runner out.
Let's have a look at that play by King at third base there. He was in his get set position there. The ball looked like it was going to go through for a base hit, but King gets down and makes the play, and look how fast he gets back up onto his feet to make the throw across the diamond to record the out. Here's Hildebrand, and that's a base hit for Hildebrand as he sprays it through the infield. And there's the first base hit of the ball game. It's a single to right field for Hildebrand, and that sets the table for the big guys. Here comes Abbott, Marty, and Henniger. I'll tell you, it's out of the frying pan into the fire when you're facing this part of the lineup.
This is
Abbott really hasn't had as much success at the plate this weekend as we've seen in the past, but I just like checking gas tanks with lighted match here with this guy, because
he's one of the premier hitters in the world of fastball. Colin Abbott out of Newfoundland.
So Abbott steps in to face Corey Guru.
Certainly one of those guys that probably holds the record for some of the longest balls hit out of here in the last few years.
A couple of years ago, he was in Stittsville and they had a home run hitting contest. He was playing with the Halifax Jaguars at the time, and he hit a couple of balls at the Grove Park there in Stittsville that they're still talking about. Some of them are still flying. Maybe he had a couple of moonshots in that home run hitting contest.
Brad Porter knows about that. He got a chance to throw some batting practice to the national team a couple of years ago in Smith Falls, and Abbott launched a few onto the Jasper Highway there.
It does a lot for your confidence as a pitcher. Of course, you got to realize you're facing the best guy in the world.
Brad knew who he was facing, so.
There's a brown ball. That could be a two. On the second for one. Not in time at first base. Kind of a slow developing play there, but a nice play there by Barry Kaler as he got the lead runner at second base. 4-6. Fielder's choice for Colin Abbott. Abbott got down the line, pretty good shape, but not much of a chance there. There goes the ground ball there as King goes into second base. Nice play by King here as, although he was out, he managed to break up the double play as he slid into the second baseman, shortstop rather, covering, and broke up the double play.
That's
good play by the base runner. Here's Brian Marty, who's had a whole career here this weekend. Good pitch.
He had a career here last year as well.
This
he
guy
won
can,
the batting championship.
This guy can really hit. He had a 3-run homer and a solo shot in one game here yesterday. Drove in 5 runs in that contest. This guy not only can hit the ball a long way, but he's a quality hitter. This guy's a tremendous hitter. That ball high and inside is maybe the best place to pitch, Marty. So they knock him down a little bit. Marty with a smile for the catcher.
You don't want to give him too much to hit out over the plate, that's for sure.
So Abbott on first on the fielder's choice. 2 gone here for Brian Marty, third baseman, member of the United States Pan American team. Here we go as the next one comes in from Guru. That's low and in the dirt. Okay. Abbott lumbers his way down to second base and makes a big turn, but he's going to stay there. So there he is in scoring position, and that's one of the things that we saw with the pitcher Guru is that he did throw a lot of wild pitches in that last game. And that could be something that's come back to haunt him here in this contest, because there's always going to be some runners on when you're playing a team like Madison.
Yeah, very difficult to keep these guys off the bases.
There's the next pitch to Marty. Marty hits a ground ball to second base. There's Kaler with it, and he boots it. And that's going to be the first run of the ball game, and that's a tough break.
That's a tough one. You don't need to give these guys any help.
And Kaler on that situation, Kaler not the natural second baseman. Their natural second baseman, McDonald, was seriously injured at the end of the last game. So Kaler is stepping in there to play some second base, and they get burnt by the air early here as Abbott comes around to score on Brian Marty as he reaches on an E4. So that goes down as an unearned run, but a run nevertheless. So the Farm Tavern takes a 1-0 lead. Here's Jody Henniger. Henniger with a big protective pad on the right arm. That's the arm that faces the pitcher.
Being a power hitter, he's probably been hit there a few times.
Yeah, he dives into the ball, of course, tries to hit the ball. Here's Henniger with 2 out. Runner on first base is Marty as a result of the error. That ball at the knees, but a little bit too low, according to our umpire and good buddy George Finley, who's chalking up the balls and strikes behind the plate here in this championship game. He's one of the most experienced umpires here in Eastern Ontario, and because of that, he's drawn the championship game assignment behind the dish. He winds it up. Here's the next one. That's a ground ball up the middle. Nice play by the pitcher, Guru, and he throws Henniger out at first base, but the damage done. 1 run on 1 hit. Wild pitch and an error coming into play. 1 man left on base. So 1 run, no hits. 1 run, 1 hit rather. 1 error, 1 man left on base. So the score after half an inning, the Farm Tavern 1, Ballston Lake coming to bat. Well, it's been a great weekend here, Ray.
Great weather, great fastball. Can't ask for much better than this.
And we've also had an opportunity to see some teams that we haven't seen before. We saw the Denmark national team here. We've had a chance to talk about that previously, but we're just learning the game over in Europe, and they come over here for more of a learning experience than anything. They didn't win a game. They came close and won, but...
That's right. It's good to see the game spreading throughout Europe, and they're the second-ranked team in Europe behind Czechoslovakia. They're using this as a warm-up for the European Championships, which are going to be held in Germany later on this summer.
Well, I'll tell you, they'll go back to Denmark as a better team than they left. I'm sure of that because...
they're being coached by Gilles Fournier from Hull, who used to play fastball around here in the Valley, and his father was a great fastball player in some of the old Hull Balance teams. Certainly, he says they're developing a good program over there. A lot of people playing both men's and women's fastball in Denmark, and apparently it's becoming very popular, and they work at it year-round.
That's good, and we've also seen the Danish team is fully funded by their government, and that's something that perhaps maybe our government could take into consideration to fund some of our amateur sport. But yeah, they're paid for their trip over here, and they've been here for about, I guess, a week and a half or so. They played a few exhibition games around Eastern Ontario and the Ottawa Valley prior to coming to the tournament, so a good experience for the team from Denmark. Well, here's Jody Henniger getting ready to toe the rubber and warm up. Left-handed pitcher with tremendous movement, Ray. He moves the ball.
Here, he doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but he's got lots of movement, as you say, and he's smart. He'll keep it down.
Henniger, a left-handed batter or left-handed pitcher, Canadian, doing the catching. Big Tim Wall in behind the plate, and Wall still wearing his Team USA socks underneath his shin guards. As you know, if you joined us a little earlier in the tournament, but the 2 catchers for the American Pan Am team.
Here's a view of the pitcher, Terry.
We got a good look. Let's get a good look here at Henniger's motion here, Ray, and maybe you can comment a little bit about what he throws.
He tends to keep the ball down out there. He's not as fast maybe as he used to be, but good control and lots of movement. And being the old pro that he is, he'll keep it down, probably make these guys hit it on the ground.
As we see in that replay, show him turning his wrist over as he releases the ball, and that, of course, is the action that you use to throw the drop, which is the main bread and butter pitch for most of these
Well, as
pitchers.
they say in fastball, you throw the rise for show and the drop for dough.
One thing about Henniger, too, Ray, is he's got one of those windups. He hides the ball right to the very last instant, keeps it right in his glove, and that makes it tough for the hitters to pick up sometimes. Well, here's a guy that's probably seen him a lot of times in the past. Here's Brian Patton. Brian Patton leads it off. His team already down 1-0. Patton from the Canadian national team.
That's right. These guys are no strangers. Patton and Henniger have met many times in the Canadian Championships.
First pitch from Henniger is strike 1 to Patton. There comes the next one. That one's a little high and away. So Patton, King, Price, and Kaler, the batting lineup here for Ballston Lake. And as we said before earlier in this tournament, the key to this Ballston Lake team's success is getting Patton and King on base, Ray. That's the Rabbits.
That's right. They set the table and then let the other guys drive them in.
Both Patton, the leadoff hitter, and King, who is the two-hitter, both have fabulous speed. And we'll probably see them hit 1-2 for the Canadian national team next week. There's Patton, hits a ball to center field, and that's going to go all the way to the fence. With Patton's speed, this could be 3, but he's going to check up at second base with a double. And a good start for Ballston Lake as Brian Patton leads it off with a 2-base hit, a double.
So it's going to be speed against power here in this game.
Yeah,
classic clash of styles here, but you're going to see some more of that contact hitting right here with Todd King.
Well, King is the kind of guy that likes to bang the ball onto the ground and run like heck. He can just fly down that first baseline. Puts a lot of pressure on the infielders, and I think that Brian Marty down at third will be probably getting in a little closer than he wants to.
And both these guys are not only got speed, but they're really smart base runners too. They know when to go and how to get the jump, so it makes them even more dangerous.
So here we go as he winds it up, ready to throw to Todd King. Here we go with the first one outside from Henniger. Henniger is a left-hander. They have a couple of good pitchers behind him, as we mentioned. Todd Martin and Paul Algar are both pitchers, too. So we'll just see how far they go with one of these pitchers. If they happen to get in trouble, I don't be surprised if either one of the managers pulls the plug here quickly. You can't get too far behind in a fast pitch game. Here's the next one. It's a ground ball hit by the second baseman who was playing right in on top.
That'll score the run.
That'll score the run. And did you see where the second baseman was playing on that one? Tim Hildebrand was playing right in beside Henniger, and they dragged the ball past him and got a base hit on it. And Patton scores on that one from second base. So the leadoff double scores easily on Todd King's slash single. So we're back to even terms again.
That's a classic example of
here's
how
Steve
Todd
Price.
King slash and dash.
There we go with just stick the bat out there and run. So here's Steve Price, the runner on first base, nobody out. There may be a bunt in order here, and there it is. He tries to drop it down, and I don't know if you waste a bunt here with a guy like King on base. Maybe you try the straight steal once, because he could just fly. Of course, a good honor here behind the plate, and Tim Wall too. So interesting decision here for the coaching staff for Heflin, but you can do a couple of different things here with Price, who handles the bat well.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things in this situation with these two guys.
King can just fly, and Price at the plate knows how to handle the plate. And there goes King, and he's running all the way. He's going to be safe at second base.
And he's
going to go to the third on the throwing error. And speed kills, Ray.
That's right. These guys can manufacture runs. They don't need a lot of hits to do it.
So a single, a stolen base, and a throwing error puts Todd King at third base. A little bit of a preview. Let's watch King as he motors down to second base. Takes one peek over his shoulder when he's about a third of the way down, and then he realizes he's going to have to go hard. Nice slide here, and look how fast he pops up out of the slide, Ray, when the ball gets by. Realizes that the ball is in center field. And there's a base hit by Price. That's going to go into the gap. That'll be a two-base hit. And so Todd King will score, and Price checks up at second base with another double, and they're banging Henniger all over the yard here early. A pair of doubles and a single and some smart base running, and it's already 2-1 here, and that might be it for Henniger. So Henniger roughed up here in the first inning.
Algar is warming up down there, so
Algar never really was out of the lineup. He stayed in the lineup as a defense-only player, though. That way they can save Henniger's bat. So we'll see what they're going to do here. They're going to bring Algar in.
Algar looks like he's
We're going to wait and see
he's coming.
Here we go. So that'll be it for Henniger as far as pitching is concerned. This game he faces three batters, gives a pair of doubles and a single, and finds his team behind 2-1. And the runner on second base. So we're going to have a pitching change here. We're going to get a look at Algar. Algar, who is from New Zealand, I believe, Ray?
Yes, I believe he is. Been around here a few years. Again, he's a very smooth pitcher. Not a big man, but he can bring it. He's got all the pitches.
So, a quick lead here for Ballston Lake. But if I'm not mistaken, Ballston Lake had a lead last year here in this game against Madison. And the Farm came back and
a lead is not safe against these guys
No,
unless it's a very big one.
yeah, because they've got such power on their lineup that.
And Henniger could be heard from before it's over because he's got a big bat.
Yeah, and he's probably got a pretty good burr under his tail after being knocked out here. He's going to want to even up the odds in a big hurry. So Henniger still remains in the game. That's why they made that move late, just after the lineups were put in. After the official lineups were put in, then they made a change as the game started. You can do that. It actually works as a substitution after the game has started, so that way they can keep Henniger's bat in the game. Re-entry. So Allgar is the re-entry officially, so he's not a substitute. He's the re-entry because he officially was the starting pitcher in the ball game. So
For the Farm, re-entering the game as pitcher, number 11.
We can look at his delivery if you want to.
okay, we'll have a look at Allgar. Allgar is the case with most of the pitchers from New Zealand. Very smooth delivery, one motion, nice hip turn, and nice smooth style. So he's Barry Kaler, who's changed uniforms. He played for the Pan Am team in the semifinal game against his own Ballston Lake club. So he's back in there. He's playing second base in this game, which is kind of out of position for Kaler. So here comes Kaler, and he'll face Allgar. So Steve Price is the runner at second, and they haven't put a runner in for Steve Price this time, but later in the game maybe they will, because Price, of course, is on a bad wheel. He's just overcoming an Achilles tendon injury. So he's not the fastest guy in the world. So here comes Kaler as he faces Paul Allgar. Here comes the first pitch from Allgar as he winds it. Strike one. Looked like Kaler was thinking about dropping a bunt down to try to advance Price over to third base, which is probably a pretty good move in this situation with nobody out. Barry Kaler, right-handed hitter, second baseman. Frank Perez standing in the on-deck circle. Here comes the next one from Allgar, and that ball is well hit. Deep, deep, deep down to left field. And that's a two-run homer for Barry Kaler. Oh, and the big, big swing from Kaler, and it's a 4-0 ball game, and they still haven't got anybody out yet, right?
That makes up for his error at second base.
Big time. Barry Kaler up 4-0 for the Heflin as they jump out to an early lead. And Ray, this has got to go down in the books as a surprise. And things don't get any easier here as Heflin brings up Frankie Perez. So this Heflin team looks like they're on a mission here, Ray. This
showing
weekend.
A little more power than expected here.
Kaler didn't. Let's make a nose mistake about this one as the outfielder goes back. Dahlman and has a look, but that one is gone with plenty to spare as it reaches the bleacher creatures out there in left center. So here's Frank Perez, who was the hero of the semifinal game as he got his team healthy with a home run in the bottom of the seventh and forced extra innings. The team eventually came on and won the game 3-2. So he's the hero so far this weekend. And Frank Perez hit a home run in that game. So we already know about his power. There's Allgar, and Allgar a little shaken up, I think, by the big swing as he's been wild here with his first couple offerings.
Perez's home run in that game solved the problem here that some of these guys would have had if it had been
the USA
US Pan Am team against Madison.
Oh, a good swing there by Frank Perez as he gets his money's worth every time he swings the bat, that's for sure. Doesn't get cheated up there. Big first baseman with arms on him like Popeye. And a quick bat, Ray. Not only is he strong, but he's got the quick bat head through the strike zone.
Explodes it into that strike zone.
So here we go with still nobody out. 4 runs crossing the plate here in the first inning for the Heflin Smokers. Oh, that's up and away. I'm going to check and see if he went down there. No, he didn't. As Perez was able to check his swing in time. Perez is one of those guys that gives you the home run or the strikeout. He has a tendency to strike out quite a bit, but there's no doubt about what his main purpose is when he steps into the batter's box. He's not up there trying to hit a little bunt single. And there, another big cut on the drop ball that was in the dirt.
He's not going to play slash and dash.
No, he's going for the downs with every swing. Big job here from Allgar. It's 4-0, but if he can shut the door here, 4 runs is none of the realm of possibility for the Farm, that's for sure. They've got a good offensive team. That ball's up and away, and he walks them.
They're one of the few teams that, fastball teams that can come back from something like that.
But they've got to get some outs here, Ray. A walk to Perez, and that brings up another good hitter, Rob Gray. Still nobody out. Budke on deck and Penman the catcher to follow. So this has turned into a nightmarish first inning here for Madison. So here goes Rob Gray here. Rob Gray gets ready to swing the bat. That's strike one at the corner, on the knees. Gray out of the Southern Ontario area. Oshawa was his home base for many years as he played junior. A good junior player in the Oshawa area with the B&B juniors. They won a couple of Ontario eliminations. Played in the Canadian Championships a number of times. When Oshawa wasn't winning the Ontario Championships, when the teams came to pick up players to go to the Canadians, the first guy they always mentioned was Rob Gray. I think Gray actually played in a couple of championships, one with Owen Sound actually as a pickup player, so he's a good one.
A great hitter as a junior.
There's a swing and a miss from Gray as he had a good cut at it. And that hasn't been too many of those swings and misses here so far for Ballston Lake, as they've been putting a lot of balls in play. As they've got 2 doubles, a home run and a single and a base on balls here so far in the first inning with 4 runs. Nice strike 3 called on the inside corner from Algar and the first out of the inning. So here comes Budke with a runner on first. Be interesting to see why Gray wasn't bunting on that one, Ray.
Yes, I thought they might put the bunt on there.
Try to put
get him down there.
Yeah. String and whistling a ball that was foul tipped into the glove of Tim Wall. Budke, who is the shortstop, and he's a fantastic defensive player, Ray.
That's right.
Really can pick it at shortstop. Another pitch on the corner for strike 2.
Using all of that strike zone out there.
Budke wasn't quite sure that that was a strike, but the umpire acknowledges that it was. Budke, the hitter, the shortstop on deck, the catcher, Barry Penman. Here they are as they warm it up. Oh, that looked like a good pitch as Algar tried to nick the corner with it, but just missed.
Just missed.
Good call there by our good buddy George Finley, who's on the plate. And another good crowd here for Perth for the championship game as the crowd has kind of increased. We've got both diamonds going most of the day. Now we only have the one on the championship final, obviously, so the crowd is kind of congregated here around Diamond 1. Algar kind of slipped when he released that one, Ray, and tried to kind of aim that drop at the outside corner, just missed with it.
Took a little off of that one.
Well, the way Henniger pitched, Ray, that doesn't bode well for the Canadian Pan Am team. He was throwing pumpkins in there. That ball's well hit to center field. Deep, deep, and that one is gone. Another 2-run home run. It's 6-0 for Heflin. 6-1, and Todd Budke lights up Algar for the second home run of the inning. That's a 2-run shot. So Todd Budke there opened that one up. It's 6-1 now. Let's have another look at that one.
You got all of that one as well.
I tell you, we might be done early. Might be done early here, Ray. Budke swung, hit the ball a little bit to the left side of center field, but to the biggest part of the ballpark. And that one's gone. So I'll tell you one thing, Heflin's wearing their hitting shoes today, Ray. They've really got the
team
bat
showing
going.
the power here. Madison is the team that
has the reputation, but
the reputation of having more power.
But 6-0 here early for the Heflin Smokers, as they have living up to their name as Smokers, as they are smoking the ball here today. Just a recap of this inning, Brian Patton led it off with a double. Todd King singled after Patton had advanced the second to a score Patton. And then Steve Kaler unloaded a 2-run home run. And Frankie Perez was walked, and now he scores ahead of Budke's 2-run dinger. So it's 6 on the board here already for Heflin. Still only 1 out, as they're starting to bat around here. So we'll see whether or not we've got somebody warming up down there. It's Todd Martin, I believe, getting ready. Just a little bit of warm-up action down there in the farm bullpen. Have to wait and see what's going on here now, as we got a little bit of a delay. But again, to recap the inning, Patton. There's George Finley, our umpire. Marty Patton with a double, a single, but King And a double by Price, then a home run by Kaler. A 3-run shot, a walk to Perez. Rob Gray struck out, and then Budke unloaded a 2-run bomb. So that's where we stand right now. A wild first inning here for the Heflin Smokers as they've recorded 6 runs. There's lots of teams that don't score 6 runs in a weekend.
Sometimes in a month.
There we go with Allgar's next pitch. It's a swing and a miss as he drops a changeup in there on Barry Penman, the catcher. I've been impressed with this guy all weekend, Ray. He's done a good job both
Great
defensively.
catcher and swings the bat pretty good too.
But a good catcher, calls a great game. He's done a good job with his young pitching staff here in Heflin. There's a swing and a miss on that one, which is up in his eyes for strike 3, and he's the second victim of the inning on both strikeouts. So here's Greg Miller, the 9-hitter, as they're going to bat around here in the first inning. Miller, a big hero, Ray, in that semifinal game. He drilled a triple with a runner on second base in the extra inning, and he came around to score himself a 2-run extra inning in the 8th in that game against the U.S. Pan Am team, and he was a hero of that game with a triple, and for his efforts, he gets the chance to start here in the final. Strike 1. I think Miller thought that one might have been just a little bit too high. But Allgar gets the call from umpire Finley. Strike 1. Here comes Allgar as he winds it. Just a little bit on the outside corner, and he tried to drop an outside backdoor curveball. Didn't get the backdoor curveball across the plate. So he tried to drop it in there on the batter. He winds it up. Here we go for the next one. Oh, that one's in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike here to the batter, Greg Miller. It's a tough situation for Allgar here, Ray. Comes in halfway through the inning, doesn't get a chance to really warm up like a starter would, and he's given up a couple of long home runs as a result. That ball is inside on Miller. Miller fights it off somehow. I think that's the case of self-preservation there, is either swing the bat or get hit with the ball, as he fouled it off his fingertips. I'll tell you one thing, the Heflin Smokers have made the most of their hits here, Ray. 6 runs on 5 hits.
That's right.
But of those 5 hits, 2 of them have been homers and 2 of them have been doubles. So you get extra base hits here, and that'll turn the trail.
Long distance here.
That's right. 2 doubles, 2 homers, and a single. Adding up to 6 runs here so far when you throw in the walk. The ball's in the dirt and it goes off the forearm of Tim Wall, and he screams, ow. And that's why they call them the tools of ignorance, Ray.
Tough job, that catching.
Even at this level where the guys have pretty good control, generally you still get bit every once in a while. That one bounced up off the dirt and hit Wall in the forearm just above the glove hand, and that one's got to sting a bit. Here comes Allgar's next delivery. It's a swing and a miss. And that's strike 3, and a nightmarish first inning for the Farm Tavern is over, but what an inning for the Heflin Builders. They score 6 times on 5 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. What an inning. 6 runs on 5 hits. That sounds like a game total, Ray, as opposed to an inning total. So it's a big hill for the Farm Tavern to climb. And, you know, they're a good ball team, but 6 runs is a lot to come back against any team, and particularly a quality team that doesn't make many mistakes like this Heflin team does. They're not going to give you the game. They're not going to make many fielding errors or things like that.
Now, young Giroux is in good position here. We got a big lead. See whether we can hold on. Well, Madison's got some big bats. They're going to have to get him going here.
Wall, Garvey, and Hebner are the scheduled hitters here in the second inning. 1 run on 1 hit in the first inning, a single by Hildebrand. And Abbott reached on a fielder's choice. He actually came around and he scored on an error. So it was an unearned run. The only run that was scored in the first inning by the Farm was an unearned run as a result of an error by second baseman Barry Kaler. Kaler made up for that, however, with a 3-run home run in his first at bat in the first inning. So I guess he's net 2 if it's a plus-minus thing. So he gave up 1, but give him 3. So
yeah, they'll let him stay in the game, I'm sure, after that.
After that 3-run dinger. Here's Tim Wall, who's a real nice guy, Ray. I had a chance to sit down and talk to Tim for a few minutes yesterday during the rain delay. He actually got out there and helped rake the field to get some of the water off it. Said he just loves coming up here to Canada. He's hit a fly ball into right field. That's going to fall foul just outside of the foul line. But he said he really likes coming up here. So the people are really nice and he really enjoys it. He said he's been coming here on and off, he said, for 7 years. He said the first time he was here was with Sea First Bank a number of years ago. He was also here as a member of the national healthcare team that played for a few years out of Sioux City. So
he's a great ball player, great hitter.
And a good receiver, good catcher,
right.
world-class catcher as well. There's Wall's next pitch to Wall. I don't know exactly what part of the United States Tim's from, but he's got a pretty thick accent. It sounds like it might be a New England type accent. That's a strike 2 called on Tim Wall. Short, stocky. If there's a such thing as a stereotype catcher's build, I think Wall has it, Ray.
He's got it.
Got the great big legs and the short stature.
Not going to run over him without some problems at home plate.
No, he's built like a block of granite, so he is. He's almost as wide as he is tall. He's a strong individual and a good stick, too. Here's the next pitch to Wall. He's fouled that one off into the dirt. Well, if you're out there and you're Corey Garou, all you want to do is keep throwing strikes, Ray, because
that's right. Don't want to be walking anybody.
Walking anybody and getting an inning started with a couple of walks. You just want to make them hit the ball to get on and be relaxed. A 6-run lead. Just keep throwing the ball over the plate. Even a team like the Farm will make outs eventually. That's a swing and a miss, and a good job by Garou as he strikes out the leader here and gets Wall. So Garvey, the left fielder, is the next hitter. Don Garvey. Garvey and then Hebner, the third baseman, is scheduled here in the bottom of the second inning. And if you're just joining us, you missed a lot.
That's right.
6-run first inning for the Ballston Lake Heflin Smokers as they ring a 6 here in the first inning and have a 6-1 lead on the Farm Tavern. Here's the first pitch to Garvey. It's a ground ball. Takes a bad hop, but it's a foul ball. Lucky break there perhaps for the third baseman, Todd King, as that one hit a pebble there right along the baseline, Ray, and it jumped foul, but it also jumped right over his head. He's out there doing a little bit of manicuring work to the infield. Foul ball for strike 1. Garvey and then Hebner here in the second inning. The Farm Tavern in white with light blue and dark blue trim. And the Heflin Smokers in red with black and white trim. Gotta like those Heflin colors, Ray. The old Smith Falls Redmond colors. 2-1 the count here on Don Garvey. Here's Garou as he drops a changeup in, and he went. Tried to check his swing, but he couldn't get the job done there, Garvey, so he's 2-2 on the batter now. And we're seeing more and more changeups here from Garou, Ray. We didn't see too many in the first game.
Getting into his second game in a row here. He's starting to use the head a little more.
He's swinging and a miss as he fouls it off into the mitt of the catcher, Penman, and that's strike 3. And Penn, he asked if it would have been a called third strike, and he gets an affirmative shake from Finley. You know, I saw Terry Bader stand over there with Mark Smith a few minutes ago, and if they're looking for an extra arm for the Canadian national team, maybe they'd be looking at this Garou kid, because he has done a good job here this weekend. Here's John Hebner. He's the first baseman as he faces swing and a miss. This kid's still got a lot of giddy up, Ray.
He's got lots of speed on it.
He pitched 8 innings in the semifinal here about an hour ago, so he's still got lots of gas left, it looks like. Here comes the next pitch. Strike 2 right down Broadway. So it looks like he's one pitch away from trying to strike out the side here. And I'll tell you, that's a big message after your team scores 6 runs to come out and shut them down 3 straight. So 2 strikes here on Hebner. Boyd Dahlman is the on-deck hitter here. Swing, he's popped that one up, but it's going to make the seats. It looks like Garou is going to go right after the hitters here, Ray. Not trying to waste anything.
Yeah, he can afford to.
A little bit of a letdown here. That 6 runs early in the game, and it's going to take the crowd out of the game. That's for sure. It's pretty quiet here around Conlon Farm right now. Just a little outside as he tries to bite the outside corner with that one. 2-2 is the count. Garou taking more and more time between pitches now, though, Ray, as he's getting his wind out there. It's Grew as he snaps it again. Change up, that's a ground ball, base hit into right field for Hefner. He's left that change up just a little bit too far up in the strike zone, Ray.
I think so. He was able to adjust to that and get good wood on it.
Number 19, Boyd Dahlman.
Only the second hit of the game, however, for the Farm Tavern. This brings Boyd Dahlman to the plate. Dahlman is the slick fielding shortstop for the Farm Tavern. Known more for his defensive prowess and his ability with the bat, but he's a capable batsman as well. Dahlman with good speed. You might see him try to slash something on the ground here, try to beat it out at first base. That ball's pounded off the plate. Foul ball as Penman plays it in foul territory, but that was a foul ball all the way, but good move by Penman as he came out of the hole fast.
That's right. Got the glove on it before it bounced fair.
Two out here in the top half of the second inning. The Farm Tavern with a big hill to climb as they trail the Ballston Lake by a score of 6-1. 1 run in the first inning for the Farm, 6 in the first inning for the Smokers. And that one's in the dirt. Here comes Guru with the next windup. Here it comes. That ball's smoked into center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Some good hustle by Hefner as he goes first to third on the hit. There's 2 out, but the Farm is in business here with 2 gone. So a pair of back-to-back singles here with the 8 and 9 hitters takes it back to the top of the order, and Steve King. Stephen King, not the mystery writer, the ball player.
Well, Madison would love to push at least 1 run across in this inning.
Yeah, you don't have to score 6 all at once to get back in the game, but if they chip away here.
Give themselves some confidence, change the momentum here a little bit.
Big out here for Heflin as they can try to shut them down. That ball is low and in the dirt. Good play by Penman as he saves it. The base runner down at third base is Hefner. Boyd Dahlman, the base runner at first. 2 out. Second inning, 6-1 for the Smokers over the Farm Tavern. That's just a little bit outside for ball 2. Guru still got lots of giddy up.
But he doesn't want to load up the bases here against these guys, though.
Yeah, don't get behind the count against these good hitting teams like this. He's got a 2-0 count right now. Looked like
was down the pipe.
Looks like King was taking all the way on that one, Ray.
So.
Trying to make the youngster pitch. Make some pitch, of course. That will do perhaps a lot to maybe wear him down. 2-1 the count now. Guru goes to the glove, and there's the pitch. And that's a ground ball to first base. Frank Cox, and that's out at first base. And now we got a rhubarb going here. He thinks it went off his foot. They're going to call the umpires in here to make sure that the Smokers have already gone to the dugout. We're going to see King thinks that it went off his foot or his leg. He's showing his shoe to the umpire. The old shoe, that's the old shoe polish play, Ray.
He's got an imprint of the ball on
the opposite, though. The shoe polish ended up on the ball in that play.
Was that a Dudley or a Spalding?
They're waiting to discuss this to see what the call is going to be, whether or not he's going to be out at first base or the inning's going to continue. Yeah, we'll have, maybe the replay can sort things out. It's a foul ball.
Sorry, we don't have it there.
It's a foul ball, so a good call by the umpire. It looked like the way it went out there that kind of deflected off something. 2-2 is the count. So if Stephen King hits a long ball right now for a home run, we got to remember that call.
Could be some people upset on the Ballston Lake side.
But the umpires got together and had a little conflab there out around the pitcher's mound, and they had a look and see, make sure they get the count right. King didn't hesitate. He turned to the umpire right away, Ray, as if he'd been hit.
That's right.
That's 2 of those we've seen in the last 2 games. Both times they've had to call the base umpires in there. Two and 2 the count.
Is that a split decision?
I don't know. If it's a split decision, it's a
2-1 vote.
2-1 vote wins. That's outside, 3-2. In the defense of the home plate umpire, Ray, he doesn't see that. So he's too concentrated. Yeah, he's concentrating on the strike zone, and he can't tell where the ball is. It's actually the third base umpires who got the best angle on that call. And he probably is the one that made the final decision. That ball is hit down the left field line. That's a base hit. Fair ball. That's going to score one. A one-run scores on that one, and they catch it. So Hebner scores, and Dahlman checks up at third base. So it's a long way back, but the Farm Tavern is already making its way.
That's right.
So King's RBI single drives in a run.
2 more runs in scoring position here with
23, Tim Hildebrand.
Well, Hildebrand.
Good hitters coming. Colin Abbott coming next.
Let's have a look at that RBI double down the line here off the bat of Steve King as he just poked it. And
Good contact.
Just inside the foul line by about a yard, and fair ball.
Hit it where it was pitched.
Oh, and a bunt attempt there by Hildebrand as he tries to drop it down. So 2 gone here, and Hildebrand trying to bunt for a hit.
Trying to catch him sleeping here.
Yeah. Yeah. 6-2. That ball's well headed in the gap in right field. That's going to be a base hit. That'll score at least one. Here comes the second one. We're going to have a play at the plate. Here it is. He's safe at the plate and safe at second base. So 2 more runs score. So we're right back in
this game was over?
Well, the game is a long way from being over as Hildebrand checks in.
And look
with
who's
a double.
up to bat.
Here comes Colin Abbott to the plate. So a 3-run inning. It's cut the margin to 6-4.
This could be tied in a minute here if Abbott gets something good.
Number 9, Colin Abbott.
Here's Colin Abbott with a runner on second base. And 2 out. This all happening with 2 out, Ray. The rally all started with that 2-out single by Hebner.
You're going to get somebody warming up here for Heflin smokers here.
So here we go with Colin Abbott, and I tell you, you're into the fireplace, into the fire here with this guy. That's strike 1 to Abbott as Garreau hits the outside corner. Abbott with Marty on deck, so things don't get much easier. So this might be one of those last bat wins type things.
Exactly.
So it's 6-4 now as they've got back into the game.
Behind last year.
I don't think they were behind. I think they're only behind 1 or 2 runs. Yeah, I don't think they were behind
2 or 3 at the most.
5 today. They've been behind, but they're right back in the ball game here. Only down 2. 2 isn't much with this Farm Tavern team. They really can swing the bats. Hildebrand at second base, the base runner, and Abbott at the plate. That ball's in the dirt. Good play there by Penman as he scoops that one and saves a pass ball.
You can see here Garreau is trying to keep it down and away from Abbott.
Well, he's trying to be too careful with that, but I think he's got to try to fire a strike because it doesn't get any easier if you walk him with Marty up next. Oh, good swing on that one by Abbott, and he knew it. He had a good cut on that one.
He saw that one all the way.
Yeah, he did. He didn't get fooled on that one. He's walking around the home plate area like he knows he missed his pitch because that one was pretty chunky for him to hit.
That's the type he likes. He likes to pull that ball.
He likes the ball in the inner half of the plate where he can pull, but Ray, if they leave it out in the other half, I've seen him hit home runs to left too, so he's got power
all fields.
Sure does. And there we go,
there
perfect example as he hits a line shot to left field. That's going to be an out though. But a wall hit, well.
Big inning for Madison there as they get back in the game.
3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. So we played 2 complete in what might turn out to be a slugfest, an inning and a half, actually.
This could be a 12-10 game.
Yeah, it's 6-4 for the Heflin Smokers after 2 innings. We got that base hit that scored the 2 runs off the bat of Tim Hildebrand. Here is his nice swing as he hits the ball into the gap. The 2 runs score on that one. All the way to
Steve Price.
Steve Price picks it up and holds him to a single. Actually, they tried to throw through there.
The ball was cut off there, and they didn't get the guy going to second.
Good play by the infielder to cut the ball, but nobody covering at second base, so the base runner was able to move into second. So we've only played an inning and a half, and we've already got 10 runs scored here, Ray. That's about a week's worth in most fast pitch tournaments. So we're back to the top of the order here after Ballston Lake batted around in the first inning.
Get to this point in the hot weekend, the hitters start to catch up to those pitchers.
Well, Paul Allgar's got himself a new life here, Ray.
See what he can do with that now
See
that
if he
he's
can-
got an inning under his belt out there.
See if he can pick things up a little bit after being banged around pretty good in
He's got
that
to
first
face
inning.
the top of the order here again, Patton and King and company.
Well, if he runs into trouble, they've got
Todd Martin.
Todd Martin working behind him. Meanwhile, in the bullpen for Ballston Lake, 34, I believe that's Doug Sleep, isn't it? Doug Sleep, number 34 for the Ballston Lake Smokers.
Yes, it is.
So Sleep warming up in the bullpen for Ballston Lake, and it might be one of those cases of opening another can of pitchers here. The way the
may have
batters
to
are
use
going,
them all.
may have to use all the pitching today. The way the batters are going.
Well, it's the last game. There's no need to save anybody.
Well, here's Patton leading off. He led off the game with a double and scored later on in front of that 3-run homer. So the first pitch from Patton is a ball outside on the curved ball. Actually, Patton scored on the double by Steve Price, as did Todd King, and then Price came in to score ahead of that home run by Steve Kaler. There's the next pitch. Ball 2 a little low as Patton bluffs the bunt, trying to get the infielders moving a little bit. And he can bunt, can run. Center fielder, veteran. Been around for a lot of years. Patton played for the Gators at one time, Ray, I believe.
Yes, he did. Yeah, after he went from Owen Sound to the Gators for a few years there, and the Gators' big years.
He sprayed that one foul down the line and left. Played center field for a lot of years in Owen Sound behind the great Brad Underwood.
In fact, he made a great catch here off of Sorensen back against Sioux City. I think it was the first year of the tournament here. Saved the game for,
and the tournament. Yeah.
Went up and pulled it down from over the center field fence.
That was against National Healthcare in Owen Sound, I believe, in the very first year of the tournament. Some 10 years ago, so that gives you an idea of how old he might be. There's a swinging chopper down the third baseline. That's out there in no man's land, and it's a fair ball, and they collided there. Patton's going to dig hard for third. He's going to be safe with a triple. We'll have to wait and see what the official scoring play on that, but we got
still got a man down.
We got one man down, and I believe that's the shortstop there. Perhaps number 19. Number 19, the left fielder. There was a big collision out there between Boyd Dahlman and the shortstop. Tim,
here's the replay.
Let's see, check the replay here. The ball was called a fair ball, Ray, but it was a close call there, and we'll have to wait and see what's. Here goes the shortstop going back on the ball. The shortstop, of course, is Dahlman. Dahlman, as he collides with the left fielder, Steve King. Neither one had an opportunity to call for that ball, Ray, because it was kind of there in no man's land.
No man's land.
And I think the big question there was whether or not it was fair or foul, but it's called a fair ball, and we'll have to wait and see what the official scoring play on. I don't think you can hang in there on anybody there with that collision, so it'll be a 3-base hit for Patton, a triple. So here we go to the next hitter, Todd King, and so here comes King, the slash and dash maestro. He swings right through the first one. And look where the second baseman's playing. Ron, if you get an overhead shot of this one, look where the second baseman is playing on this one. Second baseman Hildebrand is right beside the pitcher almost. He's in close, of course, because they know the reputation. He stands right beside the pitcher. Only another time I've ever seen this was when Zach was pitching. Adam Smith rather used to stand right beside him in some places. It's called playing your second baseman in, as he's standing right beside the pitcher. They're trying to make the play. He chops at the ball again, doesn't get it this time.
Like he was trying to go over top of the shortstop, I think, with that one.
Yeah, he was trying to maybe poke the ball to left there. Second baseman right in on top. Hildebrand, as he's getting a pretty good look at King here, who's the batter. King swings and misses, foul tips that one into the glove. Good job there by the catcher as he hangs
up and out of the zone there. That was a ball.
So here's Steve Price. Price doubled and drove in a run in his first at bat. back in that wild and woolly first inning. Patton at third base with that leadoff triple as a result of that collision out there. There's Price, Steve Price. Barry Kaler on deck. Kaler who hit the home run in the first inning. The ball is in the dirt. We'll get a scoring interpretation on that triple. It's a 3-base hit. It is, so went to our official scorer there. A little bit behind us. Want to make sure we get the right call on that. Price up and out of the strike zone on the rise. Price holds up. Kaler and Perez standing waiting here for Heflin. Ballston Lake leading this ball game by a score of 6-4 in what has turned into a wild slugfest. Only in the bottom half of the second inning here. That ball is outside. There's Algar. There's Algar. He's got a sweatband up around his elbow on his glove hand, Ray, and after every pitch he puts his pitching hand on there to dry it off. That's what that sweatband is for there, as a drying agent. There's a strike. A little bit high in the zone, but
rise ball.
Strike nevertheless. Price taking all the way on that one. Here comes the next one from Algar as he cranks it up. Good pitch right at the knees for strike 2. Price again taking all the way, appears on that one. So there's a big pitch here for Algar. If we can get the strikeout here, Ray, he can perhaps strand that runner at third base. It'd be 2 out. Nope, low and away. Ball 4. Well, things don't get any easier now. So here comes
a runner here for Price.
Price is going to get a new set of wheels down at first base. We have a base runner here for Price, who is still nursing that sore Achilles tendon. We'll wait and see what the official call is on who the pinch runner will be, but Kaler is the batter, and he's already had a pretty good day with a home run in his last at bat. So Sepulveda is the pinch runner. George Sepulveda. So how do we pronounce that again? Sepulveda. Anyway, George is the pinch runner.
An Irish boy.
So we'll see what George is doing over there. He's got pretty good wheels. He's a reserve outfielder, so we'll see if perhaps they might try something a little tricky or maybe even lay something down with the first and third. 1 gone here. Good pitch by Algar. First one is strike 1. Frank Perez is the on-deck hitter, so a couple of good power sticks here. With
lots of power here.
With Kaler and Perez back-to-back in the lineup. That ball's in the dirt.
Algar is going to have to earn his money here to get through these
well, he needs a strike,
guys.
Needs a strikeout or something right at an infielder here, Ray. They can hold the runner, eh? Two infielders, middle infielders. Two infielders are playing at double play depth in the middle infield. And I don't think, but it looks at Kaler, he's probably got the best wheels in the world. So if anything hit hard in the middle, they might try to turn 2. And on the corners, I'm pretty sure they'll probably try to cut the run down at the plate. So the defense might come in handy here for Algar here, depending on what happens. That's a ground ball. He fouls it down the third baseline. Kaler wanted that one. That was a good pitch. He said so. You read his lips. Good pitch. And he was looking at trying to go deep on that one.
That's right.
Banging the bat on the dirt after he took the swing. He was thinking long distance on that one. 2-2 the count now on Kaler. This is a big pitch right here for Algar if he can get Kaler. Comes the next one. Oh, down and in again, so he's run it to a full count. Be interesting to see whether they start the base runner here at first base on this one, Ray, with 1 out, a 3-2 count. Might be a good idea maybe to start him to stay out of the double play. I'd like to see what the count is. There he goes. It's a swing and a miss, and it's strike 3. And they didn't start the runner, which is probably a wise move because it could have been a strike him out, throw him out double play.
Got him to chase a rise ball outside here.
Well, it doesn't get any easier here for Algar. Big Frank Perez is the hitter. He's already seen his long ball prowess here earlier today. So Frankie Perez, who walked in his first plate appearance, was part of that big 6-run uprising. I tell you, if Algar here can get out of this jam, it gives his offense a new lease on life, that's for sure.
That's right, because they were just starting to go last inning here, trying to get back in it again.
They got Marty, Henniger, and Wall coming up in the next inning, so if they can get out of this jam, they're in pretty good shape. Still down 2 runs, though.
After giving up that leadoff triple there.
Here comes Algar as he gets ready, and he fires it. And that's a good pitch right at the knees on Frank Perez. 2 strikes on Perez, so Perez finds himself in a bit of a hole. You can't really say that, though. You had 2 strikes on him in the semifinal game, and he hit a home run to tie the ball game. So he's a good 2-strike hitter, fearless. There he goes, and he gets a line shot. What a play by Marty! Wow! Brian Marty just snared what was a bullet down the third baseline. What a grab by! Oh my God! Knocked Marty right on his backside. That thing was hit a bullet right. That was the hardest hit ball.
Hit at his head, he might be in trouble.
Oh, I'll tell you what a grab by Brian Marty on a ball that was just a bullet down the third baseline.
It's a good thing he's tall.
No, I'll tell you, 1 run, or no runs rather, on 1 hit, no errors, and no one left on base. 1 man left on base rather. 2 men left on. Let's see this grab again by Marty. You better slow this one down, Ron, because it was hit a bullet over here to third base. He got all of it, did Perez, and that thing is just a blur going down the
even
third
in slow
base.
motion.
Even in slow motion is going fast. Watch Marty as he just sticks the glove out just at the last instant and makes the catch. I'll tell you, and it put him right on his back. Watch this grab. What a great play by Brian Marty. I'll tell you, the guy's more than a good hitter, right?
He is.
Great all-round ball player. It looks like we've got ourselves a pitching change here for Heflin.
Doug Sleep is in the game.
Big Doug Sleep is the pitcher as we move here to the top of the 3rd inning. And I'll tell you, great job there by the pitcher to bail himself out of that jam. Algar, as he had a triple on third base and stranded it there. So Doug Sleep is the new pitcher. Sleep, a veteran, was with the Tampa Bay Smokers when they were here last year. He was the backup pitcher to Darren Zach. He's a quality American pitcher. He's also on the U.S. Pan Am roster, I believe. So he's a good thrower.
Big man.
Big, smooth delivery. And he'll have his hands full as he faces Marty, Henniger, and Wall.
What's he going to do now offensively after that play?
Yeah, really. He's pulling another rabbit out of your hat. It never seems to fail when a player makes a good defensive play. He always seems to lead off the next inning, and that's the case here with Marty as we go to the top half of the 3rd inning in a 6-4 ball game.
Terry, I think the end of that is worth seeing again.
Let's have another look at that play by Marty, because that was a tremendous grab there. Look at this position he's in as he snares that ball. And that looked like it was taped for the left field corner, maybe a single, at least a single, probably a 2-base hit. It was hit so hard.
That was against the fence in the air, I think.
Oh, that thing was just, you could have hung about 10 loads of wash on that thing going out there. It was a wicked line drive.
Frozen rope.
So here we go with Marty to lead off the top of the 3rd. 6-4 for Heflin. And have our first look at Doug Sleep. First pitch from Sleep is low and ball 1. Well, 2 runs isn't a lot for this club. Now, 5 was a lot, but now 2 isn't that many. So they can score runs. There's no doubt about that, this Farm Tavern club. Sleep a little outside for ball 2 as he's being careful with Marty, which is probably a pretty good move.
Not a bad move. This guy's got a big bat there. He showed the last 2 years here what he can do.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best natural hitters anywhere. And you got him and Abbott hitting back-to-back in the same lineup. It's double the trouble, that's for sure. Henniger on deck. Tim Wall is the scheduled 3rd hitter here as we move to the 3rd inning. I tell you, nobody's asking for their money back on this one, Ray. One of the complaints you always get from people that don't like fast pitches, they don't score any runs.
That's right. Last couple of years here, there's been lots of runs scored in the finals.
Marty leads it off with a walk, and I'll tell you, that's exactly not what Doug Sleep wanted to do. I suppose he's safer there than he would be at first base, and there's a good gesture. Frank Perez shook hands with Marty. Perez is the one who hit that rocket there at the end of the last inning. Shook hands with Marty and congratulated him on a great play. A lot of fellowship here in fast pitch. So Henniger in now. He's actually in the game as the designated hitter. He was started the game as the pitcher, but only didn't even get an out actually. So Henniger's feinting a bunt. That ball down and in, and Henniger wanted to know what he was calling there. He called it a strike. Henniger was bailing, and he thought it was going to hit him, but Sleep caught the corner with it for a strike. Henniger wasn't too convinced. So the runner on first base on the base on balls. On that one inside again, and Henniger 2 in a row now as he's got, if looks could kill. I think Sleep figures the best way to get Henniger out is inside, right? That's just a wild guess.
Inside, he doesn't want to let him extend those arms.
That one there was right at his belly button as Henniger had to bail out on that one. There was no doubt that one was inside.
Sleep is trying to lay claim to the inside part of that plate.
Henniger, of course, wearing that guard on his arm because he likes to lean down over the plate when he hits. I think Sleep has got the message. The best way is to try to move him off the dish. And that's what he's trying to do. So here comes Henniger as he gets set for the next delivery from Doug Sleep. Asks for and gets time. 6-4 for Ballston Lakes Heflin Smokers over the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin. Jerry Shea along with Ray Madden here. This is the 10th annual Perth Fast Pitch Shootout. That ball up the middle. Good play by Sleep as he flags it down. This could be a double play, and it is. Double play. Nice play by Sleep as he starts the double play.
Good stretch by Perez at first to pull down that high throw.
Brian Marty's slow to get up after he tried to take out the play at second base, but a good double play ball there as it goes 1-4-3 is the double play as Henniger hits into the twin kill.
Number 6, Tim Wall.
Big defensive play there, and that's one thing this Ballston club does, Ray. They catch the ball, no doubt about it.
Good defense, and that's what you need against, especially a team like Madison here who can hit the ball.
Let's have a look at that play at second base. Nice play here by Sleep as he flagged it. That would have been a base hit up the middle if he wouldn't have grabbed it. Nice play over to the shortstop covering. And let's watch Marty going in hard here as he tries to take the second baseman out on the double play. A little bit of a collision there. He's got the leg stuck out there trying to trip up that shortstop to try to break up the double play, but it doesn't work. There's Wall as he feints a bunt. Takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Here's Wall with one strike. I don't think who's going to bunt, Ray. That was just a guess.
Not likely.
Not likely with 2 out. Don Garvey is the on-deck hitter, the left fielder. Wall, the catcher. One of 2 catchers on this team. The other one, Brian Navieu, who also is on the national team, as is big Tim Wall. Did he go? Yes, he did go. Strike 2. So Sleep with a 2-strike count now on Tim Wall. Sleep as he rocks into his windup. There's a ground ball. It looks snubbed out to second base. No problem for Kaler as he flips to Perez for the out. Well, the leadoff hit goes by the boards on the double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base after the leadoff walk. So we've completed 2.5 innings. It's the score: Ballston Lake 6 and Madison, Wisconsin's Farm Tavern 4. So a good job there by both defenses now as they've seen the restored order here, right? After a wild first inning that saw 6 runs scored by Ballston Lake and a wild second inning in which the Farm Tavern scored 3. So we've got ourselves a ball game here as we're kind of settling in the middle innings.
Looked like it might be a 3-hour job here with the way these guys are putting men on base.
Yeah, we still haven't come to the end of it. We've had base runners in just about every inning here, Ray. So it's not as if the pitchers are mowing them down here today, that's for sure. Gray, Budke, and Penman are the scheduled hitters here as we move to the bottom half of the third. So far in the game for Ballston Lake, they've got 6 runs on 6 hits. On the other side of the ledger, 4 runs on 4 hits for the Farm Tavern. So we've had lots of base runners, lots of walks. Not a game dominated by any shape or form by the pitching, that's for sure. Here they are warming up. And a picture of our friendly confines here, Conlon Farm, located just outside of Perth on the Scotch Line Road. about a 15-year-old complex here, built by the corporate community in Perth, by the most part.
Bottom of the third inning.
And a good venue here for this
Raw.
annual
Great
shootout.
location.
This has been a good economic boost for not only Perth, but some of the surrounding towns as well, Ray. I know a couple of the teams are staying at hotels over in the Smith Falls
A lot of
area
them
and
stay
Carlton
at
Place.
the, right, Best Western and so on in Smith Falls.
So it's been an economic boost to the entire Southern Lanark County area. This tournament has brought a lot of people in, and you run into people here at this tournament you've seen in the fastball circles for many years, and you see them once a year, and it's usually in Perth, right?
That's right.
First pitch to Robbie Gray is a base hit down the left field line. So Gray leads it off with a single. And that's the third inning in a row that Ballston Lake has put the leadoff hitter on, right?
Have a base runner here for Gray, possibly.
And Gray's got a bad set of wheels as well, so they're going to run somebody for him. Norm Sharon is the base runner, number 17. And we've seen Sharon a couple of times in base running situations here. So Butke is the hitter. Butke, I would think, probably would be laying a bunt down here. You'd think so, with a 2-run lead in the middle innings, although he did hit a 2-run homer his last time up. So there is Sharon in to run for Rob Gray. I would imagine he'll remain in the game until Gray's next at bat, when Gray will return, I would imagine, on the re-entry rule. So here's Butke, followed by Penman and Miller, scheduled here in the third inning. There comes the pitch, and he swings and misses on the first one. And don't be surprised if the coaching staff changes up now. Maybe gave him one swing, Ray, and might turn it over to the bunt here. We are dealing here with Butke, who is the 7th hitter, so we'll wait and see what the call is here. But he let him swing away once. The bunt probably will be in order here, I would suspect. Oh, it's a little outside. No notion as if he was going to bunt. Maybe they figure 1 run really isn't worth that much in this game.
Could be.
It's been a wild offensive show here so far. Maybe they figure that 1 more run isn't going to make that much of a difference. Oh, there's Algar as he puts his foot in the rubber and backs off. Thinks better of it, calls time. Goes to the rosin bag. One and one the count here on Penman. Runner on first base is Sharon, the pinch runner, and there's a ground ball up the middle. This could be 2 on to 1. In time for a double play. Maybe you should have bunted. So it's a 4 unassisted to 4-3 double play. So 2 gone here in the third inning, and don't like to be a second guesser, Ray, but I think we first guessed on that one.
Yeah.
So here's Penman, the batter, as Butke. Maybe the coaching staff thinking that they weren't going to make Butke bunt it after he'd hit the 2-run homer the last time, but they always try to put up one more number on the board. That's my theory anyway. And
well, it's usually the safe thing to do.
They hit into the double play and take themselves out of an inning here. Here's Penman with 2 gone. First pitch is up and away on that one from Algar, as Algar snaps the rise ball in there.
It will look especially costly if this guy happens to hit a single or a double.
There's a swing and a good off-speed drop just out of the zone, and Penman swings and gives up empty. One of the big things about Algar, Ray, is he's got that smooth motion, and every pitch looks the same when he winds up. And,
that's right.
The high rise, it's just looks like the off-speed drop. So he's got a pretty good stuff here. There it is, and again he goes with the rise ball up.
Good rise ball there.
Penman swung and missed, come up empty, so he's got 2 strikes on him. Again, the rise ball, he must have the book on Penman. They can't hit the high stuff because he's thrown him a couple of them up there, and Penman has gone fishing on both of them.
Yeah, these guys should know each other. They play a lot of the same tournaments.
That time he works on the drop on the outside corner. That's a setup pitch, Ray. 5 will get you 10. He goes with the rise up and in again. I think that's what Penman thinks, at least. We'll have to wait and see what is in Algar and Tim Wall's mind here. This time is a curveball that's hit down to second base. In time.
Trouble finding that
Heflin
bag
had trouble finding the bag at first. He went out there to try to make the defensive play, but finally got the job done. No runs, 1 hit, No errors and no one left on place. The double play, a big play that inning for the Farm Tavern. 3 complete innings. It's 6-4 for Ballston Lake. Let's have a look at that play at the end of the inning and watch the first baseman here, John Hebner. He gets himself in no man's land. He tries to make the defensive play, doesn't get it. Well, I better get back to first base in time here. He flips the ball. Well, where is first base? It's down here. It was here a minute ago. There it is.
Somebody was moving the bag on him there.
Looked like he was doing a little bit of the Fred Astaire action down there. First, a little bit of the Tennessee two-step as he's trying to find the bag. He found it just in the nick of time. Garvey, Hebner, and Dahlman are the schedule hitters as we move to the top of the 4th here to face Doug Sleep. Garvey, Hebner, and Dahlman. Let's check the scoring recap here. The big inning was the first inning, the top of the first for Ballston Lake as they scored 6 times. Patton doubled, King singled, and then Price drove a run in with a double, and then Kaler hit the 3-run homer to give them a 3-0 lead. After that, Frank Perez walked, and Robbie Gray struck out, and then a 2-run homer from Budke. So that made it 6-0 early here in the ball game. 6-1 actually. The Farm Tavern actually scored in the first inning when Colin Abbott scored on a fielding error to make it 1-0. Then it was 6-0 after the Ballston Lake first. And Farm got 3 back in the second inning on 3 straight singles. RBI single by Steve King and an RBI single by Tim Hildebrand to drive in 2 runs. So that's where we stand right now, 6-4 as we move on to the top half of the 4th inning. And the bottom third of the order for the Farm Tavern, Garvey, Hebner, and Dahlman due up to face Doug Sleep, who came on to pitch in the 3rd. 2 innings out of the starting pitcher, Corey Garreau, who also pitched the semifinal, was probably getting a little bit tired. Sleep came on in the 3rd as the relief pitcher. His first pitch from Sleep is down and in for ball 1. So if you're the Farm Tavern, you've dodged a couple of bullets to stay in the game here,
That's
Ray.
right.
So maybe they can get something going. Ballston Lake had the leadoff runner on 3rd in the second inning and couldn't cash him in. Sleep's down low with that one, and he finds himself behind the batter, 2 balls and no strikes.
Madison would like to get something going here. Get a couple of base runners on.
A couple of base runners on with the bottom of the order and get that top of the order back up here. Right down Broadway there from Sleep as it looked like the batter Garvey was taking all the way on that one. Here comes the pitch from Doug Sleep. Fouled off by Garvey as he got a chunk of it. 2-2 count. Hebner and Dahlman scheduled up later in the inning. Here's Sleep as he cranks it up. Next pitch to Garvey. A swing and a miss, and it's strike 3. Good job by Sleep. John Hebner, the batter, he singled and scored a run in his last at bat, actually with 2 out. The Farm Tavern got a rally going in the second inning. Hebner singled, Dahlman singled, King with an RBI single and an RBI 2-run single from Hildebrand. That all came with 2 out in the second inning, accounting for 3 of the 4 runs for the Farm Tavern. That's strike 1 at the knees. I don't think Hubner thought that was there. Farm Tavern in the white tops with the navy pants and socks. Red tops for Ballston Lake with the white pants, brown socks. That's a change up from Sleep as he just kind of laid it up there. I don't know what the estimation on the crowd would be here, Ray, today. It's pretty hard to tell here from our vantage point, but I'd say it's a pretty good gathering.
Yes, looks good. Apparently the food booths were all sold out after that last game, so a lot of people were trying to get something to eat, but they had no food left, so pretty good sign that there's a good crowd here.
That's for sure. It's pretty hard to get a feel for the actual admission, but I would say there's probably somewhere near 2,000, 1,000 to 2,000, I'm guessing, but they're spread out pretty wide, so it's pretty hard to tell. Quite a few people in the bleachers. Can't see down the third baseline as well as down the first baseline, but a good crowd here.
There's a good crowd down there, too.
Sleep is low and away with his next offering. And it looks like this Farm Tavern group is content to have a good look at Sleep. They're taking a lot of pitches against him.
Make him work out there.
Make him work in this heat. I think that's what the strategy was with Guru in there, and they've gotten him out of the game. That's outside. Be surprised that if Sleep gets in trouble, we might see Price before this one's over too, Ray.
You never know.
Sleep is having a little problem with his control right here. It's 3 balls on the batter, Hubner. Here comes the next one. That's grounded to third baseman, and good play there by the shortstop as he makes a great play. And I'll tell you, I've really been impressed with the play of Budke at the shortstop, Ray. He's really a good glove over there and made a nice play there as he flipped it over to Perez for the out. 2 gone.
That's right. King had a shot at it, but he thought better of it. But Budke may have called him off.
Budke's a real slick fielding shortstop. You can tell he's got the good glove.
Very smooth with the glove, and he gets the ball out of the glove in a hurry.
Watch King bail out on this ground ball. The ball was hit in the slant area there between the pitcher's mound. He decides, no, he'll let it go. Then he has to get down so Budke can throw over top of him. Budke, who throws the ball off balance to first base as
He
good
had
as
both
anybody.
feet off the ground when he let that one go.
Throws the ball off balance with something on it across the diamond, which is a sign that he has a pretty good throwing arm, that's for sure.
Difficult to do.
I mean, that is not an easy task, trust me. So Dahlman, the hitter, with 2 gone. Gets the sign there from his catcher, and Sleep rocks into the motion. Catches the outside corner with a little backdoor curveball.
Nice pitch there.
Sleep started about halfway into that right-handed hitting batter's box, and it bent over that corner as the batter gives up on it, thinking it's outside. Good pitch. Dahlman gets set, and here comes Sleep's next offering. Throws the drop down in the dirt. Sleep's a big man, Ray, and has pretty good velocity. He doesn't throw probably as hard as some of the other guys we've seen here, but he seems to have pretty good command. He's a smoker veteran because he's with the team in Tampa Bay last year. That ball in on the hands of Boyd Dahlman, and he fouls it off.
Comes off that rubber pretty good. Pretty good hop there.
Yeah, a good push. So not only does he throw hard, he throws close. For those who aren't that familiar with fast pitch softball, the pitching rubber is 46 feet away from the home plate area. But when these guys wind up and let her go,
by an 8-foot circle, so you can see where they're.
That ball's up in the air. Budke calls for it. He squeezes it. That's out number 3.
They're in the 38-foot neighborhood when they let it go.
So a good inning there for Ballston Lake Smokers as the Farm Tavern goes 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. So it moves us to the bottom of the 4th. Greg Miller scheduled up to lead off the inning. Let's watch this pop fly there as the ball goes straight up in the air, and right off the bat, Budke takes charge as he makes the catch on that. So we'll move to the bottom half of the 4th, halfway home, Ray, as they say in the fast pitch business, a 7-inning game. There's a look at one of our cameraman volunteers. I believe that's Mr. Lyman, isn't it? Way out down the first baseline. Benjamin Q. Lyman. The last in the long list of Lymans in the cable business. His father, Rick, of course, is in the cable industry. As we pan around the crowd, look at some of the fastball fans we've seen here all weekend. I think sunscreen and a good hat and pair of sunglasses have been very valuable to a lot of our fans this weekend.
Very good thing to have this weekend.
We haven't needed too much sunscreen in here, Ray. We're under the cover of the scorekeeper's tent.
Best seats in the house here.
That's for sure. I don't think there's anybody that gets a better look at it than you and I. Maybe save our good buddy Peter Peckett, who's behind us, keeping score. There's Greg Miller. He is the left-hand hitting left fielder, number 20, the 9-hitter. So he is at the bat for the second time. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out in his first plate appearance. And Algar whips the first one in there just a little bit outside. Algar likes to work that outside corner with the drop ball. drops down and away and rises up and in have been the pattern that Algar has used. Strike one on the drop. A number of the players, Ray, are making travel arrangements for later today because a lot of them have to get out of town tonight.
Todd King here may have to leave before this game is over to catch a flight back to Halifax here.
So if King has to leave, he's one of their top players, of course. He's got to go back to Halifax. Actually, that's the home base, I believe, for Jody Henniker as well as Halifax.
He's originally out of there. He has played a lot in BC, but...
he is from the Maritimes originally. So they'll go back home. These guys are being paid a sum of money to play this game, but they are not professional ball players from the standpoint of the point they still have jobs through the week, Monday through Friday. So they've got to get back to wherever they are before the end of the weekend. So that means that travel plans sometimes are a little bit scary. That ball pounded into the ground by Miller, foul outside of first base. So not only do the players have a place to go, some of the officials and team members have to be back to their home base before the end of the weekend. So I don't imagine many of these players are flying all the way back to Madison, Wisconsin. I actually talked to Brian Marty last year after the tournament, and he was flying to Chicago, wasn't he, Ray? He was worked in Chicago, I believe, he told us. There's a ball on the ground outside of first base. Marty over there to grab it. I believe he told us he was flying into Chicago. So whether he holds a job in the Illinois city or not, but that was where he was going, he told us. So a lot of these American and Canadian players will be leaving here right after the ball game to get on flights to various parts of North America. Here's Algar as he gets ready. Nobody out here as we play in the bottom of the fourth inning. Ballston Lake, New York. Heflin Smokers 6 and the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin 4. Heflin in the red uniforms, Ballston Lake. That ball's popped up. That's a tough chance. That's going to be trouble. This is in the Bermuda Triangle out there, but a good running catch out there by Steve King as he gets into position to make the catch. They've already had a couple collisions out there, one at least, and so everybody was calling for that one as soon as it went up. It takes us back to the top of the order, and Brian Patton. Let's have a look at that one, Ray. Looked like it could have gone either way. The shortstop or the left fielder both calling for it. Left fielder make the play. Here's Brian Patton, who's had a pretty good game. He's got a double and a triple here thus far. So he only needs a single and a homer for the cycle.
And he can do it.
He can do both. He hit a home run in the quarterfinal game earlier today, so he can go deep if he has to. So a single and a double is not out of the question for Patton. Little ball outside, little backdoor curveball that didn't quite catch the corner on Patton. Patton, Todd King is the on-deck hitter. This might be King's last at bat, Ray, if he has to.
The sound of things, he's got to catch a flight.
Get out of here. There's a swing and a miss from Patton as he tries to get to that drop ball down and away. Doesn't get it.
Tried to slap that one into left field.
I think he was trying to hit that one over Brian Marty's head down the third baseline. There's a swing, and that ball's fouled off the foot of, ooh, that one hurt. Tim Wall doing a little hop.
The ankle there.
That one hurt. That really stings. Down on the ground, he's taking a breather. Wall, after he took a bite on that one, hit him either in the foot or maybe in the ankle.
It looked like it might have been the inside of the ankle, just where the pad doesn't cover.
They've got the big shin guards on, Ray. Most of these catchers that have a little bit more protection than what we're used to seeing. Wall's laughing now. He's talking to Marty Patton. Just getting a breather more than anything else. Or Brian Patton, rather.
Long day here. Tough day on catchers. You might have wanted a little rest.
There's Henniger. He's taking, or not Henniger, Algar. He's taking the advantage. He took a seat on the pitching rubber to get a breather. See, maybe there was a method in the madness there for Wall getting a rest for not only himself but his pitcher. I don't think that's the way you want to go about going to get a rest, however. They call it a softball, Ray, but it isn't soft.
Now when it hits you like that.
2-2 the count here on the batter. Brian Patton. Patton hits a ground ball, base hit. Well, he only needs a home run for the cycle now. He's 3 for 3 with a single, double, and triple here so far. Well, it looks like he's got the batting stroke ready for the Pan American Games anyway, Ray.
Patton looks like he's in the groove.
I don't think they're going to pull Patton out here for a pinch runner. He's got pretty good wheels. He'll probably remain in the game.
I don't think so.
Patton and King and the first base coach are having a little conflab as to what they're going to do, how they're going to play this. One out with a runner on first, and this is the situation that gives you fits if you're playing defense. You got great speed on the bases, great speed in the batter's box. And again, we'll have a look at where Hildebrand is playing here. Tim Hildebrand, the second baseman, is going to play right beside Paul Algar, the pitcher. He's standing right beside him, literally right beside him. We get an overhead shot, we can have a look at that. The second baseman is right on top of the batter. So, of course, they're looking for Todd King to try to put the ball on the ground some way, shape, or form. He swings away at the first one and fouls it back. Todd King trying to go out with a flash here. We hear from sources that he's going to have to leave early to catch a flight.
Todd King.
So King stands in there with a runner on first base, and if you're coaching here, Ray, maybe it's time to put some kind of a play on, either a hit and run or a straight steal, or maybe just something to get the infield in motion.
Two guys that can do it here.
Well, it's pretty obvious that the shortstop's going to have to cover the bag at second on a steal play. And there goes Patton. He's got good, and there we go. He's going to go second to third on that wild pitch. Speed kills, and there it is, a stolen base and a throwing error on that one. And now what do? You got him over there at third base. It doesn't get any easier now because you still got King in the batter's box. You still might try the slapping action.
King puts it on the ground here. Patton could be coming home.
Let's watch Patton there as he again strolled into second base. It wasn't even going to be a close play, but to his credit, watch how fast he pops up out of this slide. Once the ball gets by, he finds it right away and makes no hesitation going into third base. Ball outside. King. All King has to do is get the ball in play here, but if the ball is hit directly at an infielder, they may have a chance at looking Patton back, but that would make it a tough play at first to get King.
That's right.
So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. We'll have to wait and see
tough
if Patton,
to get both of them.
And see if Patton comes home on anything hit on the ground. Oh, they're going to try to squeeze the run in. Doesn't get it. That was the safety squeeze as opposed to the suicide job, as the base runner wasn't coming down the line on that one.
Going to take a look and see where it went.
On the suicide squeeze, the base runner would be in motion right from the time the pitch was released, and on that one he would have been a dead duck. It's probably caught in a rundown between the plate and third base. There it is. This time he's just going to try to pop it up. That's not going to get the job done this time as he pops it up to the shortstop. Dahlman, he makes the play, and that's 2 gone, and that's a big breath of relief there for the Farm Tavern as King pops out to the shortstop. That brings Steve Price to the batter's box. Price with a single and scored a run in the first inning. Struck out in the second at bat. So here comes Price.
Number 19, Steve Price.
Price re-enters. He was replaced for defensive purposes by Sepulveda, who was the pinch runner the last time Price was on base. Price reached on a walk in the second inning. That's on the outside corner for strike 1. For the second time, it looks like Algar's trying to bail himself out of a pretty deep jam here, Raymond. He's
going to have to
bear down.
Pitch well here to get by Price.
the glove goes Allgar. Here's the next one. Just a little bit outside. Trying to hit the corner of the curveball, looks like.
Trying to use that backdoor curve there, but he couldn't get him to chase that one.
Here's the next pitch. That one's low and away. Allgar looks like he's being careful here with Price. Doesn't want to give him anything too fat to hit. He walked him the last time with a runner on third base. That was Patton that time as well. So maybe he thinks he'll be better off with Kaler here. He got Kaler on a strikeout the last time. We'll wait and see what he does here. Might be pitching around him a little bit to get to Kaler. Oh, swing and a miss, and a good pitch from Allgar.
Right down the pipe that time.
That one was thigh high. I don't know if you want to throw another one there or not, because Price looked like he was right on that one. Here comes the next one from Allgar. He winds it up. A swing and a miss and a strike three. A good job by Allgar pitching out of another jam. No runs, one hit, no errors, and one man left on third base for the second inning in a row. They still can't cash him in, so we move on to the fifth. And the top of the order for the Farm Tavern. The score 6-4 for Ballston Lake over the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin. We're heading into the top half of the fifth inning, actually. So it's after 4 complete innings. So it's been a slow-moving game here, Ray. We had a quick game in our last game. This one's been a little slower-moving game. A lot of runs scored, a lot of base runners.
That's right.
There's our camera person, Adam Rogers, waving at everybody.
Well, King is still here. Going to play some more defense here, apparently.
Yeah, we thought King would have been leaving, but he's going to hang in there for at least one more inning. And look at their scoreboard there. The Farm Tavern down 6-4 to the Ballston Lake Heflin Smokers. Second year in a row these two clubs have met in the final here of the 10th annual Perth Fast Pitch Shootout.
Leading off for the Farm Tavern in the top of the fifth.
Although the ways they got here were quite a bit different this year than last year. The two teams played pretty well all the way through the tournament. Both these teams had to come from behind in the semifinals just to get here. Actually, both those teams were on the verge of elimination down late in the 7th inning of the semifinal games, and both managed to come back. For the Farm Tavern, they were down by 1 run, 2-1 with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th. Routine ground ball to short against the Broken Bow Travelers, and the shortstop threw the ball away, and that allowed the tying run to score, and they scored the winning run in the first extra inning as the international tiebreaker rule. As for Heflin, they were trailing the Pan American team from the United States by a 1-run margin going into the bottom of the 7th inning, and got a solo home run from Frank Perez to tie it, and then scored 2 more to eventually take a 3-2 win over the Pan Am team in the final. So both teams having to use the come from behind route to get here. And there's a swing and a line drive to left field, but a good catch, easily catch out there by number 7, Todd Budke. Actually, that was Greg Miller, the left fielder, making the catch, number 20. Now they got the cell phone out. They're going to find out which airline he's supposed to be on. They're going to find out if they can get his flight canceled and rebooked to Halifax. 1 out here as Steve King is the first out of the 5th inning. We're talking about King, Steve King.
Some of these teams need a travel agent as well as a coach and manager.
That's inside for ball 1 from Doug Sleep. Sleep thought that was strike.
That's the price you pay when you're bringing the players from all over. You have to assume that tournaments don't usually run on time, so.
No, you have to book the return flight sometime around the latest flight you can get out on Sunday, I guess. Probably.
That's right. You better take that into account.
That's inside. Gets the strike call from Finley. And the catcher threw that one into center field. Barry Penman. He threw the ball back, I think, before Sleep was even ready. It sailed all the way into center field. Tim Hildebrand, the hitter. Hildebrand is the second baseman. One gone here in the fifth. Going to bunt. Oh, good play by Sleep as he gets off the rubber and makes the play. That brings Colin Abbott to the plate.
Number 9, Colin Abbott.
Well, there's never a good time to face Abbott, Ray, but this is the best.
With nobody on the bases in front of him, that's about the best you can hope for. And you got Marty coming after him. It doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, a couple of swings and it's a tie game. Done a pretty good job on Abbott here so far. He was safe on a fielder's choice and scored a run in the first inning. He flied out to left field on a ball that was really hit hard, but right at the left fielder in his last at bat in the second. We're in the fifth inning here. 6-4 for the Heflin Builders over the Farm Tavern. That ball is a little bit low for ball one. 2 out for Abbott. Marty standing in the on-deck circle if Colin can keep it going. Colin Abbott from the island province of Newfoundland. Member of the Canadian national team. How old would you expect him to be, Ray?
I would say he's in the 30 area somewhere. He's been around for a few years now. Certainly one of the premier hitters in all of fastball.
That's low and inside, but it's called strike by Finley. Abbott doesn't think so. He's going to go for a little walk after that one. And sometimes, you know, these good hitters, Ray, their knowledge of the strike zone sometimes a little bit better than the umpires. So sometimes they have to kind of second guess the guys in blue a little bit. That one's outside for a ball. Sleep to Colin Abbott, big number 9, blazed on his Farm Tavern jersey. Brian Marty standing in the on-deck circle. 6-4 if you're just joining us for Ballston Lake, New York over Madison, Wisconsin in the final of the 10th annual Perth Fast Pitch Shootout. No, that's low ball.
Apparently Abbott was a pretty good hockey player in his younger days as well.
Well, he certainly has the size, Ray.
He's a big boy.
I don't know if he could shoot the puck the way he could swing the bat. I don't know if I'd want to be the goaltender. Here's the next delivery. Abbott hits it over the head of Frank Perez. That's going to be a base hit. Perez made a nice play. Good play by the second baseman, backing that one up, but nobody to throw the ball to as Perez had went high in the air to try to flag it and couldn't make the play.
That's right. On the one hand, it might seem nice that he didn't hit it very far, but you got to contend with Mr. Marty now with a man on.
Yeah, that's the tying run at the plate now, and Brian Marty. Watch this play by Frankie Perez as he tries to climb the ladder to get this. We talked about this earlier in the tournament, how hard it is around home plate. And that thing just went up like a rocket as it was chopped around, right off the tip of Perez's glove. That's some good hustle there by Kaler as he gets in behind to stop it and hold Colin Abbott to a single. So Marty, the batter, with Jody Henniger on deck. 2 gone here in the top half of the 5th inning. 6-4 ball game. Going right down Broadway from Sleep. He gets strike 1 called.
He got away with one there. That was a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, it looked like it was right in the heart of the plate. Marty maybe gave up a little bit on it, thinking it was a little outside, but here's Brian Marty. Marty, who looks very relaxed in the batter's box. Bat leaned on his shoulders, and I'll tell you, he looks relaxed until that pitch comes, and then he just turns it loose. He's got a quick bat, no doubt about it. And Marty's not the athletic-looking type, eh, Ray? He's kind of a long, scrawny-looking guy.
But he showed at that defensive play at third base that he's a pretty good athlete.
Brian Marty, member of the United States Pan Am team as well. Swings and misses there, and a good job by Sleep as he gets the big Marty on a
drop
strikeout.
ball down and away there. That was a big out.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left in the top half of the 5th for the Farm Tavern. We got 4.5 in the books. It's Ballston Lakes Heflin Smokers 6, and the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin 4. We've got Kaylor Perez and Rob Gray scheduled here in the bottom half of the 5th. This game has settled down after that wild start, Ray.
That's right. Back to more of a normal fastball game here.
Haven't had any runs here for the last couple of innings. 4.5 innings in the books. In front of a good crowd here in Perth. Annual fast pitch shootout. Our hats off to Ron Harrison and all his volunteers who do all the work behind the scenes. Thank you very much, Ron, for all your help here this weekend on behalf of Ray and myself, and we appreciate all your work. As Algar warms up, we have a couple of shots of the crowd here around Conlin Farm. Well, every year with Neil Fennell, Ray, you wonder what he's going to do for a topper. And, you know, he brings in the Canadian team in here, development team a couple of years ago. He's had national teams from Australia, New Zealand here in the past, and then the U.S. team.
Denmark. And
what I'd like to see Neil get involved with is hosting a Canadian championship here sometime. It would be nice to see that at this venue.
Be interesting.
I think his skills as a tournament organizer go without saying. But it'd be nice to see a Canadian championship here, or maybe even an ISC Worlds would be nice here too. Maybe something like that. See some of the best teams. Barry Kaylor leading it off, the second baseman. Barry Bam Bam Kaylor, he homered in his first at bat, a 3-run shot back in the first inning. Was a strikeout victim when he was at the plate in the second inning, so he's officially 1 for 2 with those 3 big RBIs, however. Here's the first offering from Paul Algar. It's low and away for ball 1. There's a little bit of soft tossing going down the line here as Todd Martin still continuing to warm up a bit. He's thrown about a game and a half down there on the sideline so far. Kaylor with a good rip at that one, but he fouls it out of play. Get into the late innings like this, though, Ray, you got to make sure you have a pitcher ready to come in a hurry.
That's right.
If somebody gets in trouble, you want to be able to bail him out as soon as he gets into that condition. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 6-4 ball game for the Heflin Smokers from Ballston Lake, New York. I'm told that Ballston Lake, Ray, is north of Albany in the Lake George area.
Right.
So it's just a little bit outside.
Scenic area.
Yeah, just a little bit outside of the Adirondacks there. That ball is fouled into the dirt. That area is a real hotbed for U.S. college hockey as well, Ray. Albany and Rensselaer in that area. Some fine college hockey players in that area. I believe Utica, New York isn't too far from there. Or Ithaca, rather. Ithaca, New York. Yeah. Down in that area as well. And that's where an Almont native that we all know, Don Vaughn, coaches Colgate University down there, which is in that area. Rensselaer Polytechnical Institution, RPI, one of the fine hockey schools there just outside of Albany. Oh, that's just a little bit inside for a ball. It is a nice area, though. Upper Finger Lakes area of New York State. That ball swung and hit hard into left field for a base hit for Kaylor. Well, Ray, for the 5th straight inning, they've had the leadoff man on. They've been doing their job getting the leadoff hitter on, that's for sure. A single by Kaylor, lead off the 5th.
Only let them do that so often, and it's going to hurt you.
Oh, getting down to the short strokes here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. I think if Ballston Lake can score a couple runs here, they might have this game in hand. After building up that 6-1 lead in the first inning and letting the Farm Tavern get back into the game, and Frank Perez, their cleanup hitter, is going to try to lay a bunt down. Drops it down onto the ground. Foul. Robbie Gray is the on-deck hitter. Perez, he is lined out hard to third base on a bullet that he hit at Brian Marty in his last occasion with a runner on third base. And he was on a base on balls.
Tried to bunt there. Marty had to come in a little bit.
Look at the ruts of the pitcher.
An overhead shot here. We have a look at some of the marks on the ground where the pitchers have been planting. And that's what some of the pitchers have to contend with as they make that big step as they step in the hole. Perez is out on a strikeout. One gone here in the bottom of the fifth. Here's Robbie Gray re-entering the game. He singled and was left at second base in his last at bat. Actually, there was a re-entry for him on the last at bat as Sharon was the base runner. He was a strikeout victim in his first plate appearance back into the game.
Number 11, Rob Gray.
First pitch to Gray is a curveball on the inside corner for strike one. I wonder if these American money men who run these American teams come up here and scout some of these Canadian junior teams. They must have a look, or they have the pipeline to where these guys are coming from, that's for sure. That ball's hammered by Gray. That ball's got a chance to go into the gap, and if it does, Kaler's going to try to score. Kaler's going to try to come all the way around. Here comes the play. It's the plate. He's going to be safe at home. And Gray is down in a heap at second base after sliding head first, but that's a big run there for Ballston Lake. As he stretched it into a double, and there's Gray, and who is in a lot of difficulty at the bag at second base. And I'll tell you, they've been dropping like flies for this Heflin team. They've had a number of injuries here this weekend. So wait and see what's the situation with Gray. I didn't catch the call there at second base, Ray. Did they call him safe?
I don't know what the call was. I couldn't see it.
But an RBI single for Gray. He's down on the ground at second base after that. It looks like it's a hand or an arm problem.
Look.
Maybe he jammed a shoulder or something. He slid head first into second base. Seems to be a lot of concern on the Ballston Lake side as they help him up from the ground. That makes the score 7-4. Kaler, who is not a small guy by any stretch of the imagination, impressed me with the speed around the bases there. He came first to home on that one in a hurry. We're still attending to Robbie Gray, who was out on the field around the second base area. 7-4 the score now. So leadoff single.
Attention, please. First aid, please report. Diamond number 1. First aid, diamond number 1.
Well, it's been a rough weekend here for Ballston Lake as they call for the first aid assistance. Earlier in the tournament, Billy McDonald, their second baseman, pulled or tore a hamstring running down the first baseline. Ray trying to leg out an infield hit. This time it's Gray, who we are told has jammed a shoulder, or dislocated a shoulder perhaps, going into the bag at second base. So they've called for the first aid assistance again for Gray. The St. John's ambulance people were here. I don't know if they're still here, or perhaps they've already left to attend to the first injured Ballston Lake player. We'll wait and see. We're still waiting for some assistance for Gray.
They have somebody still here as long as the tournament's going on.
We're waiting here for some assistance for Gray. And here comes a couple of first aid people from the swim club, I understand. So we've got a couple of people come out there to have a look at Rob Gray to see what the seriousness of the problem is. One of them turning around and coming back, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what the situation is. He's got a dislocated shoulder, we're told. And that's got to hurt. A dislocated shoulder for Rob Gray, and he's laying on the field in a prone position. And you don't want to move a guy, Ray, when he's got that kind of an injury.
No, that's not the best thing to do.
Just a little bit about this tournament. This is the 10th annual Perth Fast Pitch Tournament. It all started here as the brainchild of Neil Fennell a number of years ago. I remember, Ray, when we first talked to Neil, when he first started thinking about the idea of having this tournament, it was almost a year planning the first one. We were all just a little bit skeptical whether or not he could really pull this off as people that were involved in the fast pitch scene in the area. But 10 years later, I guess he can pull it off.
He's pulled it off a few times.
As we said, he's been very fortunate with the weather, particularly this last couple of years. He hasn't had too much rain. But Gray still down on the field, and it looks like we might be in for a lengthy delay here while they attend to the young designated hitter. As we said, Gray from the Oshawa area originally. Played some junior ball for Oshawa and Owen Sound in his early career, and has been around the senior circuit for the last number of years. I think maybe what they're going to try to do is try to immobilize the arm as much as possible. I see they got him up, sitting up. Or maybe that's just one of his teammates sitting up beside him. Gray hasn't moved. He's still on his back on the field. Just a little bit about the purse money. Each team received $500 for each win in the preliminary round. $500 for each win in the consolation round. So actually for the consolation champion, a $500 check. $4,000 to the winner of the tournament, and $1,500 to the runner-up. So they're playing out there for $4,000 right now. The total purse is a big one when you add up all the money that's given in contingency money, Ray, throughout the preliminary round. So
that's right.
It's a pretty pricey purse.
You have to do that to attract these teams from the distances that they're traveling now.
A little bit about some of the rules of the tournament. The mercy rule does apply, and here's the way it works. I don't think we're going to get into that situation in this game, but mercy rule applies to the team be leading by more than 5 runs after 5 complete innings. The international tiebreaker, as we've seen, takes effect after 7 complete innings, in other words, in the top half of the 8th. In the tiebreaker for the preliminary round, it worked like this. The head-to-head record between the two teams was the first tiebreaker. Runs against was the second. Runs for the third. Runs in the tiebreaker against in the event of a 3-way tie. So home team is decided by coin toss prior to each game. That's just some of the rules here at the Perth Invitational Fast Pitch Shootout. As we mentioned, there was 3 teams rather, in one of each 4 divisions. The divisions named after famous softball luminaries from the past. The Russ Boyce division had the U.S. Pan Am team, Stittsville, along with the Owen Sound Selects. In the Boomer Baker division, Boomer, who ran the Oshawa program for many years. It was the Oshawa Gators, Ballston Lake, and New Jersey. In the Percy Gibbons division. The Victoria Legends, who were replaced by Fingal, actually, Denmark's national team in Broken Bow, Nebraska, and the Farm, Decatur, and Waterloo in the Chris Wilson division. Now, the teams that qualified for the playoffs were the Pan Am team and Owen Sound, along with Oshawa and Ballston Lake, along with Fingal and Broken Bow, the Farm, and Decatur. Waterloo, along with the Danish national team, Stittsville, and the New Jersey Windmillers were all in the consolation round, and that was won by the Stittsville 56ers. We're going to take a little bit of a break here while they attend to the injured player, and we'll be back with you as soon as they get the situation straightened out. And stay with us. We'll be right back.
What's up? Who's hot? Where's the latest action spot? Hints and tips. Did you know? Milestones and local heroes. Sports shorts, event reports, news and views of every short before the show, behind the scene, and every second in between. Get plugged into your life, plugged into here and now. Get plugged into your life, plugged into here and now. Get plugged in. Participation, inspiration, education, recreation, celebrations and on location.
Plugged In, the show with what you want to know, what you need to know, and what you'd like to know about what's going on in your town this week.
Get plugged into your life, plugged into here and now.
Get Plugged In on your local cable station.
Your cable company, Cogeco, reserves one television channel for something very special. The story of your hometown, the high school game, a neighborhood event, an important council meeting, or a profile of a real local hero. Cogeco Community Television is proof that cable TV is about more than movies and sitcoms. It's also about the local issues and events that are important to you, your family, and your community. Cogeco, taking you there.
I'm interested in satellite TV.
Okay.
Do I need anything besides a dish?
You'll need a dish, possibly a separate receiver for each set, and a few other odds and ends.
Then I'm all set, right?
Well, not exactly. You'll still need to pay for programming.
What about service and installation?
That would be your responsibility.
What if I get all this stuff and decide I don't want it? Then what?
Well, you could bring it back.
Satellite dish returns. Please take a number and step in line.
If you're thinking about satellite TV, you might want to think twice. Cable TV, the best value in home entertainment.
And we're back, and as you can see by the ambulance here parked on the infield, they're just loading Rob Gray into the ambulance. Apparently he has dislocated a arm or shoulder, and that's what we're told the nature of the injury is, and they wanted to be careful moving him. So they called in the ambulance service to make sure that they had professional help to make sure the job was done correctly. So as they put Rob Gray in the back of the ambulance, we'll be just about set to resume action. Also in the back of that ambulance, Ray, is another member of the team, McDonald, who was injured at the end of the semifinal game. He's been sitting on the bench, or actually laying on the bench area over here, with what appears to be a torn hamstring muscle, and they decided to put him in the ambulance and get him to hospital as well, as they loaded him in the back of the ambulance as well. So two members of the Ballston Lake Heflin Smokers.
Been a tough weekend here. They better win the tournament. They may need some money to pay the hospital bills.
That's for sure, because both of those players getting injured here in plays at bases. The play on McDonald, he was trying to beat out an infield single when he pulled up about 2/3 of the way down the line with a hamstring pull of some description, or actually a tear, it looked like. Ray
I think so. It seems to be pretty serious.
And then with Gray, he's trying to stretch a single into a double, actually an RBI single, trying to stretch it into a double. He's thrown it at second base, called out, but as he goes into the bag, he jams his arm or his shoulder either on the shortstop or on the base, Ray, it appears, and that's caused the separation of the shoulder, which is another very painful injury. So
that's right. Both those gentlemen could be finished for the season,
because both of those injuries, one to the hamstring area and one to the shoulder or arm area, have slowed down. We've had a delay here of about, I would say, close to 30 minutes while the ambulance arrived and loaded the players onto the ambulance and take them now to, I would imagine, the Great War Memorial Hospital here in Perth, where they'll probably take some x-rays, or perhaps even over to the Smith Falls unit of the Perth Smith Falls Community Hospital. In the meantime, we're back here with you. And have we got a pitching change, Ray?
Yes, it looks like Todd Martin's going to come on here for Madison State Farm.
So the Farm Tavern brings in big number 29, Todd Martin. We've got two out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. It's a 7-4 ball game now with that run scoring on that single by Robbie Gray. And one thing about Gray, if his season is over because of the injury, he went out a winner anyway, driving in a run with that last swing of the bat. We see the ambulance making its way down in behind the bleacher area in front of our Cogeco cable truck. Let's have a look at Todd Martin as he warms up. I'm impressed with Martin in the time we saw him pitch here previously, Ray. He's a member of the Canadian National Pan Am team as well. He throws her hard. Probably in terms of pure velocity, he's probably the hardest thrower here this weekend, I would think.
Their own sound product here. Todd pitched junior and some senior ball up there as well, and he's been pitched for various teams in the last few years.
So the third pitcher here for the Farm Tavern. They started off with Henniger. He only lasted a third of an inning. He was replaced by Algar. And now we've got Todd Martin in the game here with two out in the fifth inning. And the hitter is Todd Budke, the shortstop, with two gone. Budke with a two-run homer in the first inning, grounded out to second base in his second batting occasion. So here's Budke, who has turned in a stellar performance defensively, Ray.
Right.
He's been great at shortstop.
Really well out there on defense.
That's one thing that's really impressed us here, not only this year, but in previous years with this Heflin team, Ray, is they've always been able to catch the ball. They've got a fine defensive team and don't beat themselves very often. So after about, you say a 35-minute delay, we're back in action. Here's Todd Martin as he winds it up. First pitch is low. Nice scoop on that one by Tim Wall. Budke with two out. His club enjoying a 7-4 lead. Ballston Lake Heflin Smokers in red. The Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin in white with double blue trim. George Finley indicates that that's strike one. Here's Martin. He cranks it up. Little line drive back to Martin. He snares it for the out.
Off-speed pitch there. Gets him
way out on the front foot.
Off balance.
So he lines out to the pitcher, and that's the end of the inning, but it's a productive inning for Ballston Lake. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. Nobody left on base.
No runners left on base.
So as we head to the top of the 6th, Ballston Lake with a 7-4 lead over the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin. Henniger, Wall, and Garvey due up here as we get down to the late innings, the top of the 6th inning for the Farm Tavern. And I think, Ray, if they want to get back in this game, they better start doing it now as they go down to their last 6 outs.
They can't wait much longer here. They've got to start getting some runs.
Sleep has done a good job since he's come in. So here's Sleep as he warms it up. There's been a defensive change here for Madison, for Heflin, I see, as they've moved Kaler over to third base. And they've got a new second baseman. I believe that's Jeremy Spears, number 9. Now at second base, as they've made a defensive change. I guess maybe King is left. Jeremy Spears, now the second baseman, as he replaces Todd King in the batting order. He goes in at second base. Well, we heard that King had to leave to catch a flight home to Halifax. I guess he's obviously done that. With a 7-4 lead, they're going to have to rely on their defense and pitching here the rest of the way. Got a pitch hitter here, I believe, for Henniger as well. Number 27.
Leading off for the Farm Tavern at the top of the 6th inning. Batting in place of Henniger. Number 27, Chris Delarwell.
Chris Delarwell is the pitch hitter. He's in there in a relief role for Henniger. He'll lead off the 6th inning here. Delarwell is an outfielder by trade. He's the pinch hitter. He'll hit in the designated hitter spot, the 5th spot in the order. Tim Wall, the on-deck hitter. Don Garvey to follow him. As George Finley, the umpire, gets the lineup card straightened up. There's obviously been a number of changes here. Of course, for those people who aren't familiar with it, all changes in fastball have to go through the umpire first. The umpire carries a lineup card. Whereas in baseball, you can make the changes directly with the scorekeeper. They have to go through the umpire here. So the changes are going to be made, and they're going to be relayed now to the official scorekeeper from George Finley.
Jeremy Spears in for Todd King, 9 and 12.
9's not on my list, but we won't worry about that.
So Spear in playing second base, as we suspected. That's the nature of the change, and they move Kaler from second to third. Right?
Defensive changes for Ballston Lake. Now playing second base, number 9, Jeremy Spears. Moving to third base, number 10, Barry King.
So we get things all straightened out. Here's Delarwell, leadoff hitter here in the 6th inning. His job just to get on base here, I would think, right?
Get something going here.
First pitch from Big Doug Sleep is strike 1. This heavy-hitting Farm Tavern team, Ray, through 5 innings has only mustered 5 hits. And there's a line shot up the middle as we say that.
But
that'll do it.
You can never count them out.
No, that's for sure. So Delarwell leads it off with a ringing single up the middle.
Now batting, number 6, Tim Wall.
Well, here's Tim Wall. He can get you healthy in a hurry.
He can put you back in the ball game.
Wall up and Garvey on deck, the left fielder. Wall's got an 0 for 2 happening so far here today. He struck out in his first plate appearance in the 2nd and grounded out to the second baseman in the 3rd inning, so he's officially 0 for 2. Yeah, he is due. A little bit behind that one. Wall, as we said earlier, has that stereotypical catcher's build, a little shorter than normal, very blocky and thick. Not the kind of guy you want to run into in a collision at the plate.
Probably a linebacker in football.
Mr. Lairwell with a good jump off first base, looking like you might steal. Well, with a 3-run deficit, they're not going to take too many chances on the bases.
No, I don't think so. They want to get some hits here.
Doug Sleep, the big right-hander, cranks it up. Good pitch. Ooh, safe at first base. I'll tell you one thing, you don't want to take too many liberties with Barry Penman's arm. He's shown here so far he's not afraid to throw the ball, and he'll throw it to any base at any time. Shadow starting to lengthen here in Perth as we get close to sunset. There's a ground ball to second, could be two, on to second for one, on to first base. Oh, and he threw it away, and it would have been probably a pretty good chance for an out there at first base. And again, a good job by Delairwell as he broke up the double play and knocked the second baseman down. So Delairwell is out at second base on the 6-4. Wall is safe at first on the fielder's choice. 34 in to run for 6.
21, Don Garvey.
30. See that replay on this play, and a good job here by Delairwell. Here's the ball hit on the ground, and Delairwell's got to go hard here as he tries to take second baseman out here. He just flips him right over, and that caused the bad throw, I think, Ray.
Right.
So we got a pinch runner here at
34 in.
So we have a pinch runner here, number 34.
Ready, 3, take 3. Pre-play operator fucking snaps in the booth.
There's Garvey. He hits a ground ball to short, and again a nice play by the shortstop as he. I'll tell you what a fielding clinic that Todd Budke's putting on there. That
juggle there, but he got the ball.
Yeah, he juggled it, but he still had the presence of mind to grab it and still turn the play at second base. So again, 6-4 is the fielder's choice at second base. And Garvey is the base runner now. So here's Hebner. Two out, runner on first base, and some excellent defense here, holding this Ballston Lake team in. Doing it with the D. Here's Sleep. He cranks it up. Strike one. The hard stuff right down Broadway there is. Looked like Hebner was taking all the way on that one. That one split the plate. There's Sleep again as he reads the sign from his catcher, Barry Penman. And backdoor curveball for strike two. He's got a big lead here on John Hebner.
Coming right at him with the heat here.
Hebner 1 for 2 so far. He singled and scored a run in the second inning, and he grounded out to the shortstop in his last at bat. And that's the way it's been going here in the last couple innings. Sleep has been pitching, but it looks like Budke's been doing the catching out there at short. That one low and away for a ball. I don't know how many runs Budke saved over the course of this weekend, but there's been quite a number of them, that's for sure. He's made a couple of fine defensive plays.
He's got a lot of range out there at shortstop.
And an impressive throwing arm, too. That ball's popped up. Looks like a chance here for Frankie Perez. He camps underneath it, puts it away. And that's the end of the inning. So 3 more outs for the Farm Tavern. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base in the top half of the 6th. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Ballston Lake Smokers lead 7-4 over the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin. It's going to be Penman Miller in the top of the order and Brian Patton due up here in the bottom half of the 6th. 7-4 in the bottom of the 6th inning for Ballston Lake, mainly on the strength of a big 6-run first inning. Patton doubled. King followed with a single, and then Price drove in a run with a double. Both Price and King scored on Kaler's 3-run home run. Frank Perez was walked, and then Rob Gray struck out, and then a 2-run home run by Budke to make the score 6-1 at that point after the Farm had scored an unearned run in the first inning. They upped the, they closed into a 6-4 deficit when the Farm scored 3 runs in their half of the second inning. Hebner singled, as did Boyd Dahlman. Steve King drove in 1 run with an RBI single, and then a pair more scored on Tim Hildebrandt's 2 RBI single. So they scored 3, and they closed the margin to 6-4. And in the 5th inning, a single by Kaler. And Kaler was scored on Rob Gray's RBI single. So there is the scoring summary for you as we head off to the bottom half of the 6th. Barry Penman, the catcher, is the first hitter. Greg Miller, the left fielder, on deck. And we'll go back to the top of the order for the center fielder, Brian Patton. That one's chopped on the ground. That might be a fair ball. It is, and he's out. There's Penman. He's looking for some help from the umpire.
He didn't pull the old foot routine.
No, if that's me, I'm rolling down around on the ground. That one was off my foot.
Number 20, Greg Miller.
So he grounds out unassisted to first baseman. Here's Greg Miller. Miller struck out in his first plate appearance in the first. Hit a fly ball to left in the second appearance, so he's officially 0 for 2. Miller had maybe one of the biggest hits of the tournament here for Ballston Lake.
That's right.
This ground ball we just seen, it looked like a fly ball. It went up so high in the air, but Hebner, the first baseman, catches it right beside the bag and just reaches down and touches the sack. We're talking about Miller. He had a big RBI triple in the 8th inning, in the extra inning, in the semifinal game against the U.S. Pan Am team that drove in what proved to be the tying and go-ahead run. So a good job by Miller in that game to keep his team alive. 0 for 2 so far here today in this game. Ooh, a little belly music there from Todd Martin, a little bit inside. Martin with the heat on the inside corner. And when we talk about heat and Martin, we're talking about somebody who can throw it up there with the best of them. That one fouled off again. The hard stuff on the inside corner.
Working him inside here.
If I ever go to Madison, Wisconsin, Ray, we'll have to go to the Farm Tavern for a drink. There's a ground ball up the middle. That looks like it's going to be a base hit, and it is. Well, here's Marty Patton, or Brian Patton, rather. And he's got a pretty good day going here. He's got a single, a triple, and a double. So he's got he's got 3/4 of the cycle here. If he hit one out right here, he'll have the cycle. So
That looks like fun, Terry.
there's where we should be, Ray, up in the big Remax balloon floating high above Conlin Farm here. There goes the runner as he takes a pretty big jump but doesn't get it. I think Patton's thinking about that cycle here, Ray.
Yeah, pretty good cut at that one.
He hits one out of here, he'll have the cycle, which is a rarity in any sport. He's already got the double, the triple, and the single. Grounds that one foul for strike 2. Martin's done a pretty good job since he came into the game in the 5th inning. Got the side in order in the 5th and allowed the one hit here in the 6th. There goes the base runner, Miller, with a good jump. The veteran Patton, 3 hits here today, a run scored and a run driven in. So he's one of the candidates for MVP.
I would think so.
Swings and miss though on that one. He's out on the strikeout. And no throw at first base, automatically out with first base occupied in less than 2 outs. So Patton's going to come up 1 hit short on the cycle. Here's Jeremy Spear for his first plate appearance. He's in the game in place of Todd King, who had to depart early to catch a flight.
Number 9, Jeremy Spear.
2 gone here in the 6th inning. We're looking forward to the Farm Tavern's half of the 7th. They'll have the bottom of the order, Boyd Dahlman, and then King and Hildebrand at the top as the scheduled hitters in the 7th. First pitch down and away. Greg Miller stationed down at second base, advancing on that wild pitch. That was the strikeout. 2, low and away. Martin, who likes to work the hard drop, right? He's got his best pitch.
Hard to hit that one anywhere but on end of the ground.
That's foul tipped into the mitts of the catcher. And a big smile on that one from Martin and Wall. As Wall looked like he was just protecting his face with the glove there, and the ball landed right in it on the foul tip. That's a good pitch right down Broadway for a strike. Interesting to look at the front of Tim Wall's mask. He's got the top half of the cage part of the mask taped. That's, I guess, to keep the sun out of your eyes. Almost acting like a little bit of a sun visor. There's strike 3 and a good pitch to Spear. So a good job.
Down and away there.
And a good job there by Martin in relief, as he doesn't allow a run in his 2 innings of relief pitching. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. So last chance here coming up for the Farm Tavern as they trail by 3.
Do or die time.
Yes, sir.
Ballston Lake 7. Farm Tavern 4.
Ballston Lake 7 runs so far on 7. Lots of hits, 11 hits. They've done a good job here with the bat. 11 hits according to my records here. So 5 of them coming in that big 6-run first inning.
Gentlemen, we invite you to remain at the conclusion of the game for the trophy presentations and the selection of the winning 50-50 ticket number.
So here's Doug Sleep, who came on in the 3rd inning as he warms up. Try to put the cap on this one. Be interesting to see. I guess Sleep would probably be in line to be the winning pitcher as well, Ray, because I don't think Garreau went far enough. He only went the 2 innings. So Sleep probably will be on the line to be the winning pitcher as well. So here we go, top of the 7th inning, last chance for the Farm Tavern. Boyd Dahlman, the shortstop, will be the leadoff hitter. He singled in his first at bat in the 2nd and popped up to the shortstop in the 4th, so he's 1 for 2. And we'll go back to the top of the order for Steve King. And the leadoff hitter is standing in the on-deck circle. So here's Dahlman. Dahlman and King's jobs will be to get on base here. There's a ground ball and a nice play there by the 3rd baseman, who's now Kaler. And again, as we've said all along this weekend, great defensive team here in Ballston Lake.
1 out, number 7, Steve King.
I don't think they lose that much with Kaler there for King.
He can do the job there.
Made a nice play on that one. Let's have a look at Kaler, who was in pretty shallow for the bunt, and the ball hit to his glove side. He's down there and made a good play with the glove and threw him out. Ouch! Steve King hit, and the umpires immediately come out onto the field in case there's some kind of an altercation between the two. But King goes down to first base. Good play there by George Finley, the umpire, to immediately get in between there just in case there was some kind of a problem. Hit by pitch, ball. So King is the base runner.
Certainly wasn't intentional at this point in the game.
You wouldn't think so, Ray. Here comes Hildebrand. Hildebrand 1 for 2.
Colin Abbott on deck there, so
you get one more base runner and you get that tying run to the plate. So that's what they're going to try to do here with Hildebrand. Hildebrand trying to get on base for Abbott and Marty and Delarwell, who are coming up next. There's a ground ball pounded down off the foot. I don't think I've seen as many balls hit off batters as we've seen here this weekend. Batters pounding the ball down off their feet and their shins.
Should all be wearing steel-toed boots.
I guess when that guy's throwing that drop in under your hands and you do foul it off, there's no place for it to go but down under your feet. Hildebrand 1 for 2 here so far today. Fouls that one off, right back our way.
Get that one?
That one right back at our location, and Thank God for Mr. Chain Link. He made a nice play on that one.
Keeps you awake.
Line shot up the middle, boy. Here they're in business.
In business here.
So where there's a will, there's a way. Or where there's a will, there's a Colin Abbott in this case. Runners on first and second.
Better get the bullpen up.
Yeah, it would be a good idea to get somebody heated up here just in case.
We're going to have a talk here.
Well, you can't walk them. You certainly can't put the tying run on. That's not probably a very good move. You don't want to load the bases up. I don't know what you do in this situation. You just throw it up there and hope, I guess.
Throw it and pray.
Hope that he hits it at somebody. And that somebody isn't sitting on the other side of the fence. So we'll see what they're going to do here. It's not going to be easy here for Heflin. They're not going to take the easy route one way or the other by the looks of things.
You put him on, you got to face Marty.
Yeah, Marty and then Dallaire. Well, at least you got Henniger out of the game for what it's worth. Here's Abbott, who has not had a good swing here today. He's got a single on his last occasion, but
he could be due.
He's 1 for 2 officially with a fielder's choice. He's got a run scored. He scored the first run of the ball game actually on that fielder's choice after an error. So here's Abbott, an imposing figure in that big left-handed batter's box. And go the inside corner to sleep. I guess that's going to be the strategy. If he's going to hit it, he's going to have to hit it with his fists.
The ump wants to go home too after that goal.
Got a message from the truck that may be interesting. We won't pass that one along, but pitch did look a little bit inside. He throws her down Broadway. Abbott could go deep. There's no doubt about her. Missed that one by a foot, though. He was underneath a rise ball on that one in a good swing, and that one stung. Barry Penman's going to walk that one off. Ball had a good velocity on it, and that one stung the hand. Doesn't matter how much padding you put in that glove. Still hurts. Well, Abbott wasn't trying to hit a single there, Ray.
No, he was trying to give it some distance there.
He definitely didn't have the wedge out. That was definitely a one-wood shot. 2 strikes now on the big Newfie. That one was low and away, and Abbott just in the protect mode there as he tried to foul that one off. Not only is Abbott tall, he's got the long arms, Ray, so he's got good plate coverage. He's a hard guy to throw the ball by. Runners on second and first. 1 gone here in the 7th inning. The Farm Tavern trailing by 4. The score, trailing by 3 rather, by a score of 7-4. So the tying run here at the plate in the game of Colin Abbott. That one he got on the fist and hit it about 100 miles foul. I think that one is down in the 705 area code. I'll tell you, if you don't want to leave that one over the middle of the plate for sheer distance, that one probably had home run distance, although the directional wasn't too good on it.
These balls are not very white anymore.
Yeah, balls have taken an awful beating here, particularly in this game. It hasn't been a pitcher's duel, that's for
Neil
sure.
wasn't counting on this many hits.
Starting to run out of balls. 2 strikes to Abbott. Here comes Sleep as he cranks it up again. Tries the off-speed stuff down and away. Boy, he's being careful out there, Ray. You know that they're thinking about every pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Even with a 2-strike count, you got to be real careful with this guy.
You don't want to make any mistakes here.
Oh, that's a bullet, to right field, and the changeup. He was waiting back on the changeup, and the 1 run is going to score. So they cut the margin to 1, and maybe they're lucky it only was a single. That thing had a vapor trail on it as it was going out there. Got out there in a hurry. It's the first time I've ever seen an outfielder almost get eat up by a line drive. So Abbott with a single.
And this guy's not any easier.
Well, now we got, just for your trouble, now you get Brian Marty. Now the go-ahead run comes to the plate. They've kept Marty pretty much in check. He reached on an error in his first bat. Was forced out in his second at bat on a fielder's choice and singled in his next at bat. So officially he's 1 for 2.
Keeping it down on him here.
Marty, like Abbott, has big time power. There's Sleep warming it up. This time Marty flares it off to the left side, just trying to keep the ball in play. The home run that Marty hit here last night was hit to right center field, and it had plenty of distance. 7-5 here in the top of the 7th. The go-ahead run at the plate, the tying run over at first base, carried by Colin Abbott. A Farm Tavern trying to pull out a tie here. There's a ground ball to short and a good play for 1 at second. Over to first base, double play. That's the ball game. And that's fitting because that's the way the game has gone here all on. The great defensive play of the Heflin Smokers comes through again on a double play to end the ball game. Abbott out at second base on the 6-4, and Marty hits into the 6-4-3 doubleheader.
By Budke again.
Budke, who has been just fabulous here this weekend defensively. So that's the ball game. Final score. Let's have a look at that double play that ended the ball game, and it was a game saver perhaps. Budke with the play to Spear with a quick turn, and that's the ball game as Marty is out at second base. Get the final summaries here now. So 5 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for Ballston Lake. 7 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. 5 men left. So that's the final score. Doug Sleep, the winner. The losing pitcher, Jody Henniger, who pitched less than a third of an inning, but he's tagged with the loss. So that's the final score. The final total is 5 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for the Farm Tavern. 7 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error for the Ballston Lake Heflin Smokers. Ray, and I think Ballston Lake was full value for that win.
They were. They played a great ball game there. They got the lead, and they gave up some runs, but they hung on, came back when they had to, and played great defense. Made some great defensive plays in that infield there to protect their lead.
Well, I didn't get a vote for the MVP of that game, but if I'm going to give one, I'd give it to Budke just strictly for his defense. He was fabulous defensively. Brian Patton could probably get some votes for his work at the plate as well. We're waiting for the player of the game.
Number 10, Barry Kaler.
Barry Kaler with the 3-run homer gets the player of the game, which is a good choice as well.
That's right.
On behalf of all our staff here in Perth, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Again, the final score and the tournament championship going to Ballston Lake's Heflin Smokers by a score of 7-5 over the Farm Tavern from Madison, Wisconsin. I'd like to thank Ron Harrison and his entire crew for doing a great job. I'd like to thank you, Ray, for sitting in with us here this afternoon. I'd like to thank Neil Fennell for having us here and the entire tournament committee and all their volunteers for doing a great job. And on behalf of our whole staff at Cogeco Cable 10, we'd like to wish you a pleasant good evening.